Happy New Year, everybody. Too sweet to all of you viewers out there checking in on Wolfpack Wednesdays. We are back. Happy New Year, 1/1/2025. Hope you guys all had a very happy, a very Merry Christmas. It was nice taking the week off. And I hope you all had a happy New Year and a safe New Year too. DLO, my friend, welcome back to the Wolfpack.
Thank you. It's been a while since I've been here. This is my first day back as a guest, I guess, now at this point. Whatever. Thanks. But Graham Cracker, how was the holidays, buddy? How'd you do? How'd you make out? What'd you get?
It was good. I'm sad. It always goes by so quick. So like back to work tomorrow. I know you were back to work today. So that really sucks. That's like lowest of the low. But I'm starting to get the Sunday scaries on a Wednesday because I know it's back to reality tomorrow. And all of the stuff that I've kind of kicked to the side is going to be like right in front of me in the morning. So, but try not to think about that. Trying to have one more harumph tonight. One more triumph, if you will. One more hangout with the boys. And if there's any ladies out there as well. But talking figures, lots of stuff coming our way. We've got our top 10 for 2024. I'm really excited about it. Our lists are very diverse. Our lists are very different from each other. There may be some hurt feelings. There may be some tears. We'll see. But stay tuned for that. How was your holiday season, my friend?
I'm so glad you asked. Thank you, Graham. I had a blast, man. I had a really good time. It was kind of like you, kind of short but sweet, right? But great time with the family. Got some quality time in with the wife and kid. We kind of escaped town a little bit. We went out to Orlando. We went to a WWE event. We had a great time, great food, great atmosphere. So it was just nice. Yeah, we had the in-laws babysit the pups at home, and we just kind of took off for the weekend, and we had a great time. So, but yeah, I started work today, which I was just telling you off screen here that I did not know I had to work today. So I got a phone call. I was like, "Hey, you coming in today?" I was like, "No, it's the first." He's like, "No, we work there." I was like, "Oh, I'll get dressed."
Shit.
Yeah, it's all good.
My boss is wishing me a happy New Year. That's nice. He's
what a nice guy. What a nice guy.
I called my what was that? Yesterday. I was driving, so I was on the road. So I called my HR guy because we're into football together, and he let it ring about 5 or 6 times, and he was like, "Hello." I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "Good." He's like, "Are you working today, or is this about work?" I'm like, "No, I just want to call, wish you happy New Year, and see how your fantasy league went." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we talked a little bit about that, but we're both salty about how it ended, so we don't have to talk about that too much. But yeah, it's really good to be back with you guys out there. Did you get any new figures like around Christmas, or was there anything under the tree, or anything you treated yourself with?
Well, I treat myself all year, like I always say.
Right, I know.
Right, so it's kind of hard to say. Yeah, this day was different, but I did get a treat from a loved one here, so it's actually on the way. Sideshow, I guess, decided to take their time, so it's going to be here a little later than Christmas, which is cool. But yeah, I think I'm getting a figure plus a free figure, whatever one that was at the time. So
okay.
So it should be cool. I don't know if it was. I think it's probably going to be Ahsoka because that seems to be the longest.
You have that one already?
I had it, sold it, so.
Sell it again.
I'll sell it again. Anybody want Ahsoka? But
I thought about it. I thought about pulling the trigger. A, I had a hard time finding something that I wanted to spend the money on.
Mm-hmm.
But then B, I'm like, I think I really want that young Ahsoka a lot more for like Clone Wars.
For sure.
I'm gonna hold fast and probably pick her up because that one looks really good. So for me, I was able to get Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Obi-Wan series. Really underrated figure. Looks really nice. And then my second go around with the OG Mando, but this time, thanks to you and your collection tour and just your smartness, I chromed it out as well, and then I got a custom base for it too. So that thing is like got the figure all in for like $170. So like for a figure that's cheap, it does have so much presence. Like. So happy to have it back. So
good. It's a stellar figure. Honestly, it's my favorite suit from Mando. So I'm happy you're happy about it there. Also, if I can just say something real quick, guys, thank you so much for the support on the tour. Since you just bring that up right now, just to give you guys a heads up here, I've been getting a lot of messages online about this. You guys can use any pose you want. You don't have to ask
For
me
free.
permission. I did not create the poses. I quite frankly said I stole it from a bunch of people myself. So if you like it, you can have it. It's okay. I don't own it. You can go for it.
Here,
But thank you guys
question
for
for
the
you.
support. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Do you ever come up with a pose out of your head? No, no like material from the internet or anything like that. You just like say, oh man, I just want to do this. Like, it'd be cool. Is there anything that's
Yeah.
100% just creative out of your mind?
Yeah. I mean, most times I look for inspiration. You know, comics, movies, posters. Posters are a big inspiration.
Right.
I just love the look of a poster. But every now and then I even surprise myself when I come up with something pretty neat that I wasn't expecting. Usually it's by mistake. I'm trying to
Sure.
recreate something and then I do it miserably and I just wind up with an even cooler pose than I thought I could do. So yeah, I can't take 100% credit. It's really more of a happy happenstance, I guess you can call it there. So, but
I'm the kind of guy too that needs like inspiration. Even if I don't steal your pose 100%, if I take something and then blend it with something else, or like I love browsing the internet for hot toys, Bespin Luke, and then just looking at YouTube videos, and then you know, just seeing what everybody else out there has come up with and then making it my own or just copying it 100%. I mean, I get some people can like watch the movie and then say I'm going to do that, and that's, I guess, 100% your idea. But like I need a starting point, so I kind of need that material, and I need something to look at. So I think it's just interesting. I don't think anybody really talks about that a lot in the
No.
community, where you get your poses. Do you 100% steal them? Are you, you know,
yeah.
it's like almost makes you less of a collector if you're not creative enough to get it, you know, on your own. So
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like for me, like, hey, like I can't draw, but doesn't mean I can't appreciate art, right?
Right.
So it's kind of the same way as well too. And what's the term here? Like something about is the most sincere form of flattery or something along those lines there, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean,
Copying.
yeah, something
Not
along
quoting
those
it, but
lines
yeah.
there. I mean, it's all good. I say in a community like this, like I think if we take each other's poses, it's just another great way where we can kind of extend our connection to each other there.
agree.
So I think it's cool if you find something on my pose that you like, go for it. I hope it looks good in your display, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be yours. It's not mine. It's not anybody else's but yours. So if you enjoy it, go for it. You know,
I agree.
I have no problem stealing from you, Graham, anytime you come up with anything nice. There, I said it.
You know what? And I just really enjoy anybody that wants to come out and make like a Hot Toys collection tour. Like, and if anybody wants to film one that doesn't have a YouTube channel, in the chat and like somehow send it to me, and like I don't mind showing it off on my channel. But like I just love watching them, and I don't mind going back and watching them over and over again. It's almost relaxing for me, and then obviously getting ideas from how other people do it is really inspiring as well. So outside of that, I picked up Endor Luke. So like I'm going hard on Star Wars. You've noticed. I mean, we've talked in the chat, but dude, I'm like, maybe it's like it might have stemmed from your video, like seeing how everything.
Oh, so it's my fault. You're that. It's my fault.
You're the inspiration. So obviously I like my figures to breathe, right? I don't want them to be on top of each other, but at the same time I have room to put more in, and I want to fill up those gaps a little bit more. And like some of the stuff, it's just really filled in nice. So like I'm excited to like bring the Star Wars out a little bit more. Also, this guy came in and he is a beast.
Looks good.
So if you guys haven't, checked that video out on the channel as well. That is a really fun figure, and just these three together has been awesome to display. So I'm excited for that as well. All right, let's say hi to everybody in the chat here. And while we're doing that, feel free to get this hair off my mic. Feel free to hit that like button, because that obviously helps the channel out a lot. Give us that exposure. Let's see who's joining us on this New Year's Day of 2025. We have Adric23 channel member. Let's go. Too sweet to you, my friend. Thank you for being here. This is actually, yeah, this is actually Brandon Mosley. He his kid changed his name here, but first comment thought it started at 8 for some reason. Well, hey, thanks for hanging around. Hopefully you voted on the poll, kind of a funny poll that we're doing there as well. So I'll end that when we're done saying hi to everybody. So make sure you vote on that. Got my father Django. Always good to see this guy in here. He left me a comment today that had me cracking up on my my 2099 video. So you guys can check that out too. We got Joven. Happy New Year, Wolfpack. Happy New Year to you. Tighter FL. Always good to see you here as well. Happy New Year. We got Aaron Jones, channel member. Let's go, man. We're ready. Valkyrie is here. Always good to see the staples in the chat because you guys are the 5th Wolfpack member. And speaking of that, Brick is going to be here. He's a little bit late. He's got some family stuff going on. And Sneaker is still recovering from a procedure that he had. So he's probably going to be back next week. So don't worry about him. He'll be back. We're looking forward to having the pack back together. But for tonight, I think a little bit more of an intimate show is in store. So I'm excited for that too. Hanging out with my boy DLO. Valkyrie, good to see you. Casablanco, hello, hello. Here's a good start to 2025. Let's go. Universal Key, hello. X-Man, thank you for being here. My good friend Darth Kibbles, hello, hello. Happy New Year. I'm trying to talk the boys into a road trip to the Kentucky region this summer. And I know you're around Tennessee. We want to do a little bit of a bourbon trail trip. So if anybody in the Kentucky, Tennessee area wants to meet up and like, hey, go to Buffalo Trace or maybe find a Hot Toy store in the area, you know, hit us up. We might be around. We'll see. We're trying to figure that out. Luke Christian, happy Wednesday. Happy New Year's. Toy Collector, happy New Year's to you. Stacy, thank you for joining us. Hello, hello. There's Brick lurking in the chat. Hello, Brick. Looking forward to seeing you soon. We got Striker 47. Happy New Year, Wolfpack. Got 2 tickets to WrestleMania this year from my dad. Got myself the Bat Bike from the 2022 film. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that was dropped last night because for the show's sake, for the length of the show, with our top 10, we got a lot to talk about. So like there is stuff from like last week, a lot of Flash stuff. We're probably not going to be able to talk too much about, if at all. But damn, that bike from the Flash is ginormous. DLO.
It's legit though. I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. And did you hear the rumor that you can take the faceplates from the 2.0B Batman and put it on that imposter Batman? I
did see that. That would really help out a lot. So
it's almost like Peacemaker, like somebody's kind of got them by the arm, you know, behind the back. So they're like, well, we'll at least make a way that we can get out of this. So like, you know, just cut this little piece and you can get out. Kind of like, well, we couldn't get the rights for some reason for Ben Affleck for this, but we'll make the faceplates the same. Kind of like RoboCop as well.
Just
like
so weird how they can get it from one but not the other. Like I
agree. I don't get that.
I need to learn.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall, and just
you know, just like how does that happen there? But I mean, so is it confirmed like it's a stunt double again for Flash basically, and then we'll get the right plates with the BVS 2.0?
Apparently, rumor has it on the internet. Yeah, so that would make the figure better, but it's still not for me, and I'm a huge Batman fan, so I just it's not a flattering look. So
it looked better in the original. I saw like the behind the scenes. Like originally it was black, not blue, and I think it looks so much better in the black than it does in the
I agree,
the edited blue. But that's just it is what it is.
I noticed we're both wearing baseball caps tonight too. Baseball teams.
That's right, buddy. That's right. My team doesn't have a stadium for another 2 years.
Oh, where are they playing?
Actually, I don't even know yet. So when we had that huge hurricane issue, like yeah, the Rays Stadium was completely devastated. Oh yeah, it's they're starting a brand new one at this point. So
that's a bummer. We got Kevin joining us. Hello, Kevin. Love the picture of Abe Lincoln going stealth mode. Pretty cool. We got Big Dog Pound 1. Woo! Happy New Year to you. 12-inch Moose Dream. Too sweet to you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Yeah, Valkyrie's back to work tomorrow too. Yeah, it always just goes so fast. I hate it. I probably would have had off the rest of the week, but I've got some matters that just need attention tomorrow and Friday. So it is what it is. But Clinton is here as well. His Bears play my Packers this weekend. We'll see how that goes. And good news for you, you know, Saquon Barkley's not going to break the record against your Giants. So a sigh of relief.
He just scored 2,000 yards his first season with another team. I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, well. Sore subject. Hammer of God, what's up, my friend? Thank you for being here. Happy New Year. 1Adam12, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a channel member. We got Batman Collectibles evening panel. Modern Suit Batman is damn good. Are you picking that up? That modern suit?
Yeah, I went through. I mean, and originally when it was announced, I was absolutely excited about it. Then I'm not gonna lie, it kind of fell off in the excitement for me, just because it just sank in. It wasn't a great movie, but it's Keaton, and it's the last Keaton of all time. Like he's not suiting up again So it's just like I'm buying it for Keaton. I'm not buying it for the movie. So I'm 1000% in on that one.
I believe he's waitlisted on Sideshow. Are you still gonna just wait, kind of hold back on this one? There's so much stuff coming out really soon.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, the waitlist stuff is all good and well, but it just feels like it doesn't hold the same weight like it used to, just because of kind of what you just said. Like once something comes out, someone's going to cancel, or it's going to wind up somewhere else on another retailer, and it just feels like if I'm patient myself and I lock in and I make sure I do it on my schedule, then financially I can have my cake and eat it too. It's not going to affect another figure that is a priority as well. So yeah, I'm gonna hold off, but I'm not gonna hold off too long. I really want that one.
Really quickly too, because again, we're kind of skimming over some of that stuff. Unfortunately, just avalanche of stuff last night. Supergirl, did it come out good enough for you? Did you see enough improvement there in the sculpt, or is this like a pass for you?
Yeah, I think compared to what we first saw, the controversy behind it, yeah, I think it's a big improvement. Is it still a little soft? I would say so. Would anybody be disappointed with it? I don't think so. I think it's a really solid piece, and I think it came out well. It's just going to be a question of, is that the Supergirl you want to get? Because, like if Brick was here, he'd tell you, the new Superman's coming out, and there's going to be a new Supergirl announced in that one. And, that's
Right.
figure I'm sure is going to be announced too. So, you kind of have your pick of it there. I mean, do you get the one that is kind of passe, but still a great figure, or wait out for another version that might be more to your liking? Who knows?
Yeah.
But for me, I'm going to say, I'm going to enjoy it from afar. It's not going to come home.
I'm with you on that. When the movie came out, maybe it was just because of the newness, the excitement. Like the whole Keaton part was great, but I thought it was kind of like lackluster, everything around it, and plus the end. After I got out of the theater, I'm like, that really pissed me off. But I was like, I was gonna pre-order Supergirl, and I was gonna pre-order Batman, and then I was gonna think about the Flash, and now none of them are coming home. Maybe Batman. I do want him, but at the same time, what's the priority? Like, would I rather have Returns or Flash? Because it's tough, because Returns is a great movie, but it's so closely knitted with 89. So it's kind of like they have the subtle differences, but like,
yeah,
the older Keaton is a cool figure because it is a contrast to 89.
Sure.
So I'm kind of thinking about that too. Like, if I can only pick one, which one do I want? And it's not as clear cut as I thought it would be. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I'll put it to you like this. The way my mindset about it is here. The Flash is the unofficial third version of Michael Keaton's Batman, right? To end off his
that's true
trilogy if he ever came out. So for me, I kind of see it as if I'm collecting, Batman Returns Part 2, or whatever they would call the trilogy if they made a third film of it there. But I like bookends. Bookends is kind of like my thing with collection. It's just an easier way to collect and just kind of clear my mind of what I want to get. I like the first iteration, and I always like to have the last. So the middle is always optional, but we're talking Returns, it's not optional, it's necessary. You need to get that one. I think you know that. So
especially if I'm keeping 2 Batmobiles.
Yeah, especially with all of that stuff in the house too, for sure. But yeah.
Oh boy, we'll see.
I'm gonna get all 3 for sure.
Okay. All right, sounds good, man. We got Field to Burn. Hey folks, happy new year. Let's see. Everybody's saying happy new year to each other. We got Justin in the house as well. Totally stole that Venom pose from DLO. Yeah, some sick poses, man. But I think what really excited me too was just how not only individual poses, but how everybody was posed with each other and how it all just kind of flowed and worked. So props to you on that, my friend.
The big one was the Guardians. I didn't know everybody was going to be really excited about that one. I appreciate all that. That was a fun one.
OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. Imitation. Yes, imitation.
Thank you, OG. Yeah.
Greatest form of flattery. Beautiful. Yep. Sincerest form of flattery. Yes. Perfect. Thank you, guys. That's what we got you here for. We got Christian Crosshair Cooper. Happy New Year's, Wolfpack. My Ohio State got the win today. Congrats, man. Congrats. Yeah, bowl games are going on. We got everything kind of coming to a head in sports. Let's see. We got Ryan Stadler here. Is this everybody tonight? We got Brick joining us as well. So we're kind of stalling a little bit. We got some other stuff. We might talk about Jack Sparrow first because I got some thoughts about that as well. We got Off the Wall. What's up, my friend? Thank you for being here. Happy New Year to my fellow collectors. Thank you, Jedi, for getting me Harley Quinn to my collection. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, this guy was nice enough to take the Harley Quinn off my hands. I'm getting ready for the new Harley Quinn, the artisan version. And while he's thanking me for hooking him up, I got to thank the movie canon for hooking me up, because I did miss out on that Harley Quinn, but he was nice enough to basically sell me his. So yeah, that's the reason I'm moving that Harley Quinn out, and I'm glad it's going to a good home. And I'm going to try to get that out tomorrow, but Friday at the latest, my friend. Friday at the latest. Let's see. Malachi. What's up, guys? What's going on, my friend? Chris Santos. Happy New Year. What's going on? Adrian is here. W Stream. Yeah, we're going for the win tonight. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. Valkyrie Magnus has become a YouTube channel member. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. You know, I try to offer some perks to make it worth your while, but honestly, it's really just if you enjoy the channel, just any way to support it, so that I can keep going strong for you guys. But you can unlock perks like emojis, early access to my videos, shout outs at every video, and member giveaways at certain times. I need to do one soon. So stay on the lookout for that channel member giveaway for all you guys that are so awesome. So thank you for becoming a member of the watch. Let's see. Batman Collectibles is in Tennessee. Hey, we're looking at Louisville. So yeah, if anybody's in the area,
let's make it happen.
We got to figure out logistics, when and where. But I think it would be cool. So
we gotta name it something too once we kind of make it more official.
The Bourbon Trail, the 6-scale Bourbon Trail.
I like that, but it kind of reminds me of like Oregon Trail when I was a kid and I was in class. So,
and if you've watched 1883, it's pretty horrific. So
we'll call it WolfCon 2024. Ooh, that might work.
WolfCon?
WolfCon.
Ooh, and we go to a different place every year, and then we hook up.
There
with,
you go. We bring the con
collectors in the area.
I like that.
I think that'd be cool. All right. Don't forget that. I'm gonna put that in our private chat.
There you go.
WolfCon 2025.
That's true, because we're not in 2024 anymore. We're in 2025. We're in the future.
Yes. David is here. What's going on, David? Brandon is an hour from Nashville. Which way? Because again, we're looking at Louisville. So I think Nashville's like 3 to 4 hours from like Louisville. But yeah, if anybody wants to take a little mini trip, come hang out with us.
That'd be awesome.
Uncle Nearest is a must to do if you're doing whiskey in the area. Uncle Nearest. I don't know what that is, but I'll hit you up later about that, Kibbles. All right, I just lost my spot. It took me to the end. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling. Looking for people. Holy cow, look at this guy. We got Chadwick Albert Gavigan. This is an actual real life friend of mine. So thank you for tuning in. Happy New Year to you, and I hope you're doing well with your family. We got Xander. Yo. What are your guys' thoughts on Han Solo coming out later this year? I'm excited because I have Endor Luke, so I'm building the Endor stuff. I'm very excited. I have mine pre-ordered through. Get ready for it, DLO. Underground Figures. So yeah, if you're looking for figures, go to undergroundfigures.net. You can hit up Ray. The Rays are just awesome in the 6-scale community.
They really are.
Hawk Wars Toys Ray, he'll hook you up. Underground Figures Ray, he'll hook you up as well. So shoot him an email, tell him I sent you, and get it a little bit cheaper than from Sideshow. But I'm excited for it. How about you?
Oh, a million times. I have a kit batch I've had for like 2-3 years now, and it's definitely it was really like cool when I did it, but now I'm like, I can't wait to get the official one. So I'm thrilled. I can't wait for it there.
Yeah.
I'm really want some more OG announcements though. Am I the only one with that?
I'm really just I'm craving OG. Like there's
right.
I mean, there's stuff Sideshow has done, but like it's been so long. Like honestly, if you can do a dewback, you can do a Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Like give us a Gamorrean guard. Like I'll buy 2.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Bausch Leia would be great. I feel like they've done a lot, but there's still a lot they can do.
Yeah, I feel like it's like strategically done that way, just so they don't run out of stuff to make.
And that's true. And then with enough time to like some of these figures might start getting reissued or 2.0'd.
Yeah.
Like A New Hope of Luke could probably use a facelift.
Mhm.
Leia, they've been using that sculpt for a
I mean,
while.
all of New Hope, quite frankly, can really
Yeah.
most of it there. I mean, Tarkin and Obi-Wan seem to be the ones holding it down pretty good, but the other guys, might be time. Might be time.
But I'm with you. I want some OG stuff. Come on, like I look at polls on YouTube all the time, and I see like, do you like OG or the prequels better, or do you like Vader, like our Anakin or Luke better, or do you like this and that? And it's always lopsided to like the prequel stuff now, because that's the audience that's now kind of in their own on YouTube land, where I now feel like the old guy, because I'm like, damn, the OG is awesome. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I feel like Disney's kind of like not caring as much about that, or Hot Toys, or the combination of the two. I'm not sure, but give us OG.
Well, I mean, right now, we saw like kind of a flash pan announcement of things to expect in 2025 from Hot Toys. So, just it's hard to believe that we're already at the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Like that's this year, which is want to feel old? Yeah, there you go. It's been 20 years since that movie. So yeah. But I mean, all in due time, right? I think it's
yeah. I mean, honestly, with the pace, and we try to dabble in all the IPs. So obviously pace is a big thing for us. So I mean, I get that too, but at the same time, like, I don't know about you. I think Star Wars is like your favorite to collect.
Oh, 1000%.
And it's the same for me. So like the fact that I'm building this out is just like, and I get why Steve really loves to do it too, because there's so much in Star Wars, but it can be tricky because it's really like a rabbit hole, because where do you stop?
Yeah.
So like, even though like Bad Batch with a little bit of like Anakin, Rex is like my Clone Wars era, I don't want to go like full just troopers and all this, and like all these side characters and stuff too. So I gotta be really careful.
If there was one thing, if money and space was never an issue, I would collect everything Star Wars. For a while I was. Yeah. Like I wasn't like caught up with everything. Then it exploded after Mando, and there's so much extra stuff, and then things kind of splintered from there to other series and anniversaries of things that you didn't think were going to happen. It was safe for me to still collect Marvel and DC, but like when you factor those in, it's darn near impossible unless you're focused solely on one there. But yeah, if I can have it all Star Wars, I absolutely would.
Well, it's weird too, and I know you're bigger on the Mando line than I am, but even Mando, like, I don't know if it's just this OG Beskar Mando that's kind of rekindled it, or maybe like it's come to the point where enough time has passed for season 1 that it's becoming nostalgic, and you're thinking about it, and those good memories come back. So now I'm like, oh man, like now I can get an IG-11 for super cheap, or I could get, this figure for super cheap. Maybe now is the time to do it, because I'm really feeling like the love for the early Mando stuff. So I don't know. It's just, it's weird. Maybe enough time has passed where it's becoming classic.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Star Wars is, man. I mean, Star Wars like endures, man, more than anything else. I mean, it doesn't constantly stay relevant all the time. I mean, it's always going to have its natural following to it there, but then it has its peaks where suddenly there's a spike in popularity again. Like for me, after the original trilogy, there was really not much Star Wars, because I mean, have you ever seen like the documentary on Netflix where they talk about how the Star Wars figures came out from Kenner and stuff like that, like the contract that Lucas had?
I don't think so.
So to summarize it over here, there was a pretty stiff, like one-sided part of the deal with Kenner and Lucas, where Kenner was really getting a lot of money from the toys there. So basically, Lucas waited for a while, waited for the rights to expire, and then eventually that's when he created the prequels, and he had all the rights to the toy stuff. So making huge money. He was making great money with Kenner too, because Star Wars is so hot. But that's part of the reason why we got the prequels so late in time. But ironically enough, another thing here is that like really peaked Star Wars for me was like when Knights of the Old Republic came out, originally on Xbox. Like that's what got me excited about Star Wars again, because it came out right before the prequels too. So this is all in all, man. I mean, just like I just noticed from my time being a Star Wars fan, like it just kind of it gets hot, it's kind of peaks for a little bit there, and then it gets hot again. And it's kind of like Mando was just one of those peaks again that got everybody excited about Star Wars, because everybody here in Hot Toys World was collecting Marvel because of that universe that they created. So it's it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan again, for sure, because there's so much great stuff out there.
Speaking of which, Chopper shipping next week from Underground Figures.
Ooh, and congrats.
Tech next week or the week after from Hawk Wars Toys. So again, the Rays coming through. Getting some of those. You mentioned your tech is on the way too, right? Is yours incoming?
Yeah, I got mine directly through Sideshow.
Okay.
So they said they're going to build me next week. So we'll see when that
All
happens.
right.
But I should probably have Deadpool at some point if they ever decide to ship it, and tech around the same time. So we'll see what's up.
It's always fun stuff, man. It's always Christmas when you're collecting hot toys.
I know.
All right, let's move along here. We got Jose Plus. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Too sweet. Let's see. We got KG. Man, I remember watching this kid grow up in front of my very own eyes. What's going on, guys? Happy New Year to you. Hope you're doing well, KG. And yeah, many blessings to 2025. Love the collection tour, Graham. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. And then it's funny too, because as soon as I did the collection tour a month ago, but then I did the update a week ago, and then like the next day it was already out of date because I got Endor Luke, I got 2099, started revamping stuff. So it's just kind of funny how that works. But I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for being here. Mike Literis, the infamous Mike, is back to being his normal self. So I appreciate him being here. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Hello to the peoples. Yeah, Brandon says I enjoyed all y'all's tours as well. Mike's got to hit the sheets. We'll catch the replay. Appreciate that, my friend. I know a lot of people probably had like late nights last night, so we might not be burning the candle at both ends, but we'll see. I mean, the conversations just always are so much fun that it's just tough to draw a line in the sand. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Oh, shiznit. Brandon is in Kentucky.
Let's go.
Oh,
come on.
Yeah, he's even closer to Louisville. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't want to speak for DLO because I haven't talked to the guys, but maybe like a June, like Brick and my birthdays are in June. Like a June thing would be fun. So we'll keep it up. If you guys aren't in the Discord, join the Discord because that's the chat. You can talk with me, you can talk with DLO, any of the other guys, plus all of you in the chat. So the Discord link is in the description below. That's probably where I'll have more info, but I'll probably announce it on here too. So anybody in the area that wants to join us, feel free. And if you all know like the hot toy stores, you know, let us know that too. So yeah, but Batman Collectibles, a little 2 hours. I mean, that's not bad either. So it's not bad to meet this guy right over here. I mean, come on, that's priceless.
WolfCon
2025.
It's happened, baby.
Okay, so Blanco, nice enough to put Underground Figures website there as well. So hit them up, and again, tell Ray that I sent you. Yeah, so he even said check out his buddy's store. I even heard there's a really good store in Cincinnati, which isn't too far off either. So I mean, I'm not afraid to drive around a little bit. So we got Honest Hansel in the house. Go Pack Go. Happy New Year, Wolfpack. Cheers to a healthy and prosperous New Year. Exactly. Nick's Collectibles. Sup, Wolfpack? What's going on, Nick? Happy to have you here tonight, my friend. Derek as well. Happy New Year. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, OT doesn't seem to be the focus anymore. Focus on prequels, Clone Wars, and then, yeah, Legends is becoming big. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Quan, Happy New Year to you. Thank you for being here. We got Nomar. Hello, my friend. Thank you for being here tonight with us. We got Kirby holding up the chat as well. What's up, y'all? And I think we're getting there. I think we are there.
You guys are awesome.
Even my wife shops at Underground Figures for my presents.
Nice.
Yeah. Dude, that was fun though. I mean, it's kind of nice, just you and I that are breaking it down a little bit, you know, between questions or comments and having a little convo. You know, I don't even think we need the other guys if we're being honest. So.
Subs every once in a while when I need a break, they can check in. No, this is actually reminiscent of episode 1. So what is this? Episode 83. So it's been 81 episodes, I think, since you and I did one just ourselves or something like that. Because we did the first one together.
Yeah, I think Brick was supposed to be there, but he was living in the cabin in the woods. And
yes,
wasn't
the cabin in the woods. I miss those days.
It wasn't working, so
just dial-up internet.
This is basically a throwback. So yeah, a lot of fun. All right, let's just dig into it, man. We got Jack Sparrow that was released last night. Now these photos, they kind of just I don't know if I like it when they do this, where they just throw all the photos into one album. I'd like it if it was split up a little bit, but we'll decipher which one's which as we go through. But you never want to judge a release by the photos, but at the same time, it's all you have to go off of. So it's hard not to jump to conclusions, be excited, or be, the opposite. Like if we can be excited, why can't we be a little underwhelmed or disappointed? So I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw these photos, I was disappointed. Like I had just not been so excited about Artisan. Like I feel like we've seen Joker. Wonder Woman was good, long hair female, a little bit different, not technically an Artisan, but same technology. But I don't know, like Protos, these photos where we're seeing them like at events, I just have not been blown away. Like the hair looks thick, it looks poofy. And I thought the same thing with Jack. Like it looks a little thick. What are your thoughts? And I've kind of come to change my mind a little bit, but I also want to know what your thoughts are going into some of these photos.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of echo a little bit of how you felt about there, just because I think the photos were kind of, once again, underwhelming. And Hot Toys really needs to step up these photos because honestly, once you get a look at a sneak peek at it from a person's video, whether it's a short or on Instagram or something like that, from somebody already has it in hand, it always looks better now. Like it just feels like there's such a disconnect between the photos that they're doing and what people are getting in hand, which I'm relieved in a sense, because I mean, as long as there's resources to figure out, is it what it looks like in the photo or not, I'm okay with it. But I see what you're saying as far as like out the rip, just kind of seeing the photos, wasn't very impressed. But I will say automatically once I changed my mind, once I started seeing some videos, because I think it looks great. I think the end result came back. And if you look at the difference between the sculpted and the rooted in this particular one, I think it's a lot more clear of the difference here. I really didn't think there was going to be a difference just because a couple strands, but forgetting that the bandana is a fabric instead of a sculpted piece to it there, that really does elevate it. It really does. And it keeps everything in place there. So, and I've always said long hair is the best thing for rooted. If you're going to go rooted, long hair, it's going to be your best chance of it looking really, really good. And I think this one came out great. I'm actually way more excited about it than I was when I first saw the photos. I'm very thrilled with how it came out here. I think overall, this is, although I understand where you're coming from, I think this is going to be in hand amazing. I think your mind's going to change. I agree.
And my mind did change when I saw the in-hand videos as well. I think sometimes it's the angles of the photos, maybe the styling. Like this one, is this the Artisan?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
That's the Artisan. You can always tell by the bandana.
I think it's this wave here that just kind of like in
I
some
thought
of the
the
photos,
same thing too. I looked at some reference photos. His hair is always popping out the sides of his bandana. It's almost like the bandana's keeping his hair together there. So it checks out. It's good.
One thing, and the other thing too is, to me, this looks like the same sculpts from the previous versions, just going to be, what do they say, newly developed. So basically like paint apps and stuff. Like you get the one smirk faceplate and then you get the serious look here. And I'm fine with it because they've nailed that figure since the DX6. I've owned both that and the 15. And honestly, outside of the hair being straggling Barbie-like, those figures are still amazing as well. This one's going to come with an amazing base that I just couldn't say no to. But what I love too is just all of this intricate detail in the outfit. The lantern looks so cool. Is the hat, do we remember, is that hat made of leather? Did they? It's been a while, so
I don't know. I mean, I still have my
anybody in the chat
back there behind me, but I don't think so.
Okay, let us know if that is leather or pleather. But man, I think the sculpt is basically nailed. I am excited for this. I think it's like seeing a movie too, where you get such maybe you build something in your head that's not even really realistic, and then when the movie comes out, you're a little let down. But then after it sinks in a little bit, you're like, man, that really was a good movie. I want to watch it again. It's the same thing with this, but the videos definitely helped me. Like seeing in real hand videos was something that really changed my mind. So, and sometimes it's just hard to capture the figure, and maybe you guys think differently, but I just thought some of them looked odd. But overall, I think this is going to be a standout figure. Technically, Tilo, this was released 2025, in Hong Kong. So is this a 2025 figure?
I was wondering if you're gonna bring that. It's 100% a 2025 figure. Has
Okay.
to be.
Because I didn't
Has
put
to
it
be.
on any of my 2024 stuff.
No. I think honestly, that's the cutoff. No way. That's definitely the first of this year. Which great way to start off the year. Great way to start off the year.
So
I don't know,
keep
man,
that in
like-
mind for your next year's list.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not crazy about these photos. I mean, I think they're a little dark in places, a little too like saturated in others over here. Like the natural lighting, I think it's amazing. I think it's a 10 out of 10, to be honest with you, man. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not happy with the photos they've been taking lately, but the figures in natural light are looking great. They really are. So yeah, I think my new strategy is look at the photos and see if somebody post a video right away, just to kind of get a better opinion on these things here. Because I'm very excited about this figure. I really, really am. So
yeah, you don't want to overreact one way or another by the release photos here, but man, like this pose looks great. I am so excited to have this base because with a figure like this, where it's kind of like a standalone figure, sometimes it's hard to give him his own space or make like I don't want to say a shelf, but like a presence. But like with this type of diorama base, you're definitely going to be able to like just have it on its own where it's going to like stand out, and you're not going to necessarily need to put other figures around it. I mean, you definitely can. It's not going to hurt, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like this looks great on its own. It's not just a figure. It's an actual like almost like statue-esque where it's got the whole 9 yards with it. I'm excited for that.
So let me ask you this here, because I have a personal dilemma myself here. I have the DX15 still. And part of the reason why I have it is I absolutely love that diorama. The one with the cannon, the shark, the pirate flag. I think that's one of my favorite dioramas of all time, quite honestly here. So I'm having a hard time selling that one and just having this as my only Jack Sparrow. Would it be crazy for me to keep both, or do you think I should move on from one?
I mean, I think if financially you don't have to get rid of one. I mean, typically the two reasons why I'll sell a 1.0 is, hey, give me some money to put towards new stuff, but then B, I don't have endless space either. So like we've talked about in the past, like I'm against 2.0s or reissues like freshly off of like a DX19 type of thing. But if it's like a New Hope Luke, you know, something like that, then I'm more likely to sell that one and put it right in its spot. And I'm happy to do that because then it doesn't take up more space. But the DX15 is still like a really good figure too, like depending on how you have that hairstyle. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having two if you know your budget and your space allows it.
Because I was thinking there's two head sculpts with this one, right? It's the same mechanism on both here. So I was thinking, get the artist in the hand and see if I can use the other head sculpt on the DX15 and have both looks. Because for the artisan one, I don't want to put the hat on that one there, just because I don't want to mess up the hair.
I agree.
Right. So, but I do like the look of him in his full outfit with his, you know, his coat and his hat on too. Those are both so iconic. So part of me wants to keep both.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you. You know, what you could do too is always, you know, keep an eye out for something being parted out. Maybe not get an artisan hair piece, but like I'm sure the rooted is better than the DX15, you know, was at that time. So like even if you can upgrade the whole head sculpt, again, there's so much cool stuff with the body. You have the coat on one of them, coat off on the other, hat on one, hat off on the other. You could do two totally different looks. So I think it's completely justifiable having two in there.
So what do you think here? Too soon to tell, or is this an early runner for figure of the year already? Or is it too soon to say something like that?
Obviously, I'd like to see it in person, but I think this does have enough. I mean, do you take anything away from it being the fact that it's kind of like been done before or not? I mean, it was always a good figure, right? But now it's kind of a tier up. Does that go into play for you at all or not really?
I guess, I mean, when you put it like that here, I guess looking at it in hand is probably going to really tell the difference between the two there. I mean, I'd say right now, I mean, it definitely deserves to be in the conversation.
I agree.
Early wise here. But yeah, in person, seeing what else gets released. I mean, maybe we might get a few more artisans. I think I just saw a few just mentioned right now a second ago that are coming out. So Yeah, I guess maybe it is a little too soon to tell, but I gotta admit, I'm pretty excited about this one.
Do you think it's also going to do a disservice to this figure being basically a 1-1 figure? You know, because you know how our mind goes. We're
Sure.
quick to go to the next thing. Will
Yeah.
we remember this in November of 2025 or December of 2025? I hope so, because I do think this is going to be a banger of a figure. And maybe with it being in my showcase here, I'll see it every day so that I won't forget about it. And I'll be like, hey guys, remember when, you know, this figure came out and it was amazing? Well, guess what? It still is.
I think the community kind of tells you that sometimes, right? Like if you go on social media and you see people posting the same figure over and over and over again,
Right.
I think that's an indication that this one has some legitimacy of being like one to be considered later on the road, because so many figures come out, and especially like doing these top 10 videos the last few weeks, you really forget how many figures came out.
It's so
And it's
long
just
ago.
like, but you in the back end when you're creating your list, you're already thinking about some familiar ones you instantly gravitate to because you've seen so much of it. And if this one is like on social media a lot through Facebook groups and Instagram and a lot of photography, I think this is something we can talk about like 12 months from now and say, yeah, this probably could be a figure of the year.
Yeah, I agree. And what's really exciting about this too is it's not Star Wars. It's not DC. Well, it could have been DC. You know, that would have been nice. But it's not Marvel. Like it's its own kind of independent IP, which is nice because it's different. You know, typically some of that stuff sits for a little bit or small batches, where this is kind of like a home run maker. And again, it's more Disney than a lot of that other stuff is. So I'm sure it's got that going for it. But still, nonetheless, it's just great to see kind of an independent figure drumming up so much excitement. Like, yeah, this is just so cool. Like having him on this diorama base, though, I'm really looking forward to that. That looks like a picture of Johnny Depp right there.
That's Johnny Depp, dude. That is Johnny Depp all day long.
Yeah,
that looks good, man. You gonna put this in one of the monos, or is it gonna go?
I think so. It depends on. Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna go in a mono, because if it goes into the 6 series, it's probably gonna be in one of the 55s, the smaller ones.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I have miscellaneous over there is the DeLorean, so it'd probably go on the bottom, which I don't feel is justice for this figure. So I'd like him to be kind of over here in the office area.
So Ryan Sadler brings up a good point, because I was thinking this quietly myself here. Like, I would like to see more pirates made as well.
Yeah.
Too. Barbosa definitely on the list here. Davy Jones, obviously, that's a grail. That's one of those rare ones that's still to this day a grail.
Yeah, hard to find too.
Yeah,
not only expensive, but just hard to find. Yeah,
have you seen those older figures? Like those can definitely use a 2.0 for sure. I don't know. The first Pirates of the Caribbean movie is like one of my favorite movies of all time. So I wouldn't be mad if they did that.
Yeah, Big Dog Pound says if I had to streamline my Hot Toys collection, this Sparrow would be a keeper. I remember too, like all of us four, getting on Sideshow the day that this came out. You know, we all were able to get it, so it's kind of like something that we're all getting, because we do all have such different tastes in what we collect. So it's nice that this is kind of something that the Wolfpack kind of shares together too. We're all getting the artisan version, so that's going to be exciting. But yeah, the dreads look amazing. Like the detail, there's so much detail in this figure is really cool.
Especially the detail you're not gonna see in the back, the way the dreads fall on into a ponytail. Like that is like next level stuff right there, and really no one's gonna know that but you. So that's really nice stuff there.
Well, I'm excited too. Like I'm not gonna have to futz with this too much, because you know me, I'm old school in the way that I just prefer sculpted, less maintenance. Everything's already in place. Yes, it looks a little plasticky, but it like from 5 feet away, I can't tell a difference. It looks like the shape of that character. So I'm good with that. But like this, you're not really gonna have to mess with too much, because it's all braided and dreaded and stuff like that too. But this photo here is definitely one of my favorites, in contention for how I'm gonna pose the figure as well. Like the pirate pistols, like the ship wheel is just it's just so cool. Such a unique piece.
That's a good photo. That's the cover of the movie right there. Right there. Bam.
Yeah, it's all the different hands that you're gonna get to do his different gestures is it's gonna be cool. Is this lantern LED, or like it has little batteries or something like that, or
I don't know. It's a good question. I've seen it lit up a couple of the photos here. It's been a while since I looked at
Photoshop or or what, but let us know in the chat. This is another banger of a photo here too. Yeah, I'm with you though.
Yeah.
Hat off, coat off, because it's just going to show all that the intricate outfit there.
The only thing I remember that this figure doesn't have is it doesn't come with rum this time around.
That's true.
That's the only thing it doesn't have.
What about the rum?
Yeah. Jack with no rum. Ridiculous.
The issue. Well, they want the older versions to hold their value, right?
Yeah.
But here it looks like it's lit up. So I don't know. Trying to get to the other photo that I
can you go back to that photo real quick when he has his hands up for a second?
Yep.
That's the only time I wish they had like another facial expression besides that one. You know, the one where he's always like making when he's frightened? Like that would have been a nice addition to this here. I
agree. Yeah, like I think that's the only thing too, is like it would have been nice to get a new faceplate, like something we haven't seen. The smirk is great, the serious face is great, but maybe something else. And for what we're paying for the artisan figure, like a third faceplate, is that too much to ask for? I don't know. I don't think so. This is really nice too. I mean, this is a great pose to have him in. I don't know, man. Something with the wheel.
He's getting excited, ladies and gentlemen. He's like,
I am.
This is not even, I'm not even here right now. He's
this is it. This is the moneymaker right here.
You guys aren't here right now. We're just watching a man talk himself into a $500 figure he's already pretty much paid off.
It's pretty much already paid off. So I got one more payment on it, and I love the photo here, but I also love the pose. It's really good.
That's a great photo too. That actually is a good one right there. I'm excited, man.
I am too.
Get hyped. This is gonna be a banger figure.
I think sometimes you just get something different in your mind, and maybe like the first few pictures. But now that we're actually, because I looked at it on my phone, but now that we have it on the computer screen, we're looking at it together. It's a little bit different as well. Like, and maybe it's just I'm used to how the look is. Like, but at first this just was off to me. I don't know. I don't remember seeing that. You know, like it blended in. Maybe I just didn't recognize it, so it threw it off a little bit for me. But it looks great.
I think you're going to like this rooted version, man. I really do.
Aaron wants to know, what kind of risers do you use or recommend for monos? Just got my shipment notification. Can't wait to get them, but need something to put them on. I recommend you build your own, because then you don't have to worry if it's going to hold the weight of the monos. I've done a video. You can check that out. Super easy. You can use, I think these are like 2x8 boards, and then for the vertical boards I think I used 2x12 to get it up a little bit. But like you can build it custom to the exact size you want. It takes maybe 2 hours, and if it's not perfect, it also does not matter, because it's just got to hold the weight. And then I put some I don't know if you guys can see, I put some Moduspace extra lights I had down there, so I could like display other stuff and have it lit up. So you know, that works too. Did I still have blow lead-ins when you were here?
Yes, okay. You did. Yeah, you didn't get the models quite at the. You had one
just
from your review. Yeah.
So that's what I did. I built that, and I would recommend that, because like some of that other stuff is not solid wood; it's particle board. So it's the weight is not even close. Like the weight limit's not even close to what these are. So that's what I would recommend. Jose says, I'm really excited about this, Jack. Got the artisan on order. Crazy how quick the turnaround was on this. I agree. This was what, late March, if I'm correct?
Yeah. Wasn't even a full year.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, you kind of answered why, because it's not a new head sculpt, right? So that's why they were to push this one out. So smart. We got caught up in excitement, but yeah, they pretty much could have got this done just because they're just repainting it with hair. And by the way, to your question, the lantern, LED batteries, by the way.
Okay. I mean, honestly, this isn't a new figure.
No.
It's new paint apps and it's new hair, rooted hair, but it's not a new figure. So yeah, I mean, definitely quicker to be able to push this out. So
yeah, I feel like if you got the DX15 and you're satisfied with it here, this isn't going to push the envelope too much for you unless you're a super fan. Myself, like I'm a super fan, so I'm thinking about keeping both, because there's that diorama is amazing. Like I can't talk like enough about it. It's like one of my favorites. This is really good as well too, and I like this because it can just be a different Jack from a different movie for me. I just can use my imagination. But Yeah, I think I think everybody's gonna be happy with this here over here. I'm curious. I want to see the sculpted one though in a video. I haven't seen one in a video yet, so I'm curious to see what that looks like. Because like, yeah, they put all these photos together, which I
Yeah.
agree. I don't like that. They should have absolutely given them something like that. I said that's like one of the few photos we have.
Yeah, there's not
basically.
many, to be honest.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the sculptor for some of the folks who are going to be getting that one instead?
I still like it. Obviously I actually preferred the DX6 to the 15 for the reason that it was all sculpted, because again, everything fell into place where what I saw on the DX15, if you didn't mess with the hair, kind of like winging out and fluffy and stuff. So that was the only thing I didn't like about the DX15. But here, if it's maintained and it's got a good blend, I think it's fine too. So
now I will say I think that looks better than my DX15 as far as paint is concerned. It's essentially, I think it looks exactly the same as far as the sculpted bandana with the hair and the strands of rooted here and there. But I think, I don't know, again, could just be the photography here. It looks darker in the place, like the skin texture looks a lot more tan, which is good for Jack Sparrow. So I don't know. I think this is actually, I'd go on a limb just off this photo. I think it looks like it's a better version of the DX15. So,
well, in the DX6, I know was very orange colory, like for the skin tone. So like
that
alone,
everything back in that generation was orangey.
Tan.
Yeah, very tan back then.
So that alone is going to be a huge upgrade if you don't have the 15. Like if you're coming from the 6 to this, oh yeah, night and day difference.
Yeah. I think 15 to this marginal at best there, but I guess it depends on what you got there as well.
Yeah,
like for me, I wouldn't have gotten the sculpted if I have the 15. Like I would be happy with the 15.
Yep.
Personally there. But if you got the rooted, yeah, I mean, that's where the conversation comes to play. Do I want to keep both?
Right. Exactly. Also, I did close out the poll. What's your New Year's resolution, guys? 49% said improve my health. I'm with you. Like I got to get back to it. We got to take care of ourselves if we want to be around for the long haul. So health is definitely the most important. 17% said wealth, 17% said collection, and then 15% said improve my happiness. So I threw the improve my collection in there too to see how many of you were just gonna go for that. But thank you guys for participating in that. That was a fun poll that we did there. So any final thoughts, DLO, on the Artisan Jack Sparrow? We're all getting it. We're all excited. Hopefully it doesn't take more than a month or two. But any final thoughts for you?
Yeah, just one briefly about Artisan in general. I think so far from what's been released, I think Artisan is going really well. I think it's showing its worth, its quality, and the difference it makes to the figure. So let's see how the rest of the year goes. But good start for the third Artisan out. I think Hot Toys is doing a pretty good job.
Is this the third one?
Well, I always consider the Imposter one as part of that Artisan series.
Yeah. Okay.
So technically this would be the third one.
Okay. Yeah. Some not so great photos and then some really banger photos that have some really great poses. So I'm definitely going to be referencing them when we talk about how to pose this guy. Excited to do that. Let's move on to... Well, let's just shoot over to Star Wars. Darth Malgus from Legends. So a lot of people got really excited for this figure last night as well. He does look badass. I mean, not going to take that away from it. Don't really know much about him. I looked up a little info, kind of some backstory on him, but again, not very familiar. We don't have Steve here to kind of walk us through that, but I will ask you, DLO, are you familiar with the character?
Yeah. Actually, ironically enough, at the Knights of the Old Republic, they came out with the Old Republic for the PC. So that is where he is from. I unfortunately never got a chance to play the game just because I'm not a PC gamer, but kind of like yourself, I've always kind of kept up with the lore through YouTube clips and stuff like that there. He's a badass. He is absolutely a badass there. I mean, honestly, like Sidious and Vader admire this guy. So that tells you everything you need to know about Darth Malgus over here. He was so true to the dark side that, I mean, he did some pretty gnarly stuff, especially the people even cared about, just so he can be in tone with the dark side, like that much more. So yeah, he's an amazing character. Like if you just watch clips alone, like cutscenes from the game themselves, they honestly could make a movie about this guy, and I'd 100% pay money to watch it for sure. So I mean, getting to the figure itself, absolutely menacing. Did you see that comparison between him and DX28 Vader?
No. Oh yes, I did.
He's taller than him. The suit itself, I love the clashes of black and gray on there with pops of red on that there. Like this thing is not gonna like blend into your casing, like your Maja case or your monos or you're using right now. He's gonna stand out in a very nice kind of way. And as far as articulation, I mean, who knows what the suit is? He's a big boy. So I don't know if that what you're seeing now is how much you're gonna get range out of him there. But either way, if you just have him there holding his lightsaber, that dude is gonna pop. Like I would 100% love to see, because I know someone's gonna do it. I cannot wait for somebody to put like Sidious, Vader together, maybe even put Starkiller and Revan in display case with everybody there with all the other legends. Like that is gonna look sick. I mean, Hot Toys is going into their bag, because I don't think anybody saw this one coming. It seems like that seems to be a recurring thing we're saying more and more, specifically on the Star Wars side of Hot Toys figures, where we're constantly getting surprised with like characters that no one was expecting to get right now, right? Because we were just talking about how OT isn't getting love, which is true, but I will admit, for the stuff that we are getting for Star Wars, they are freaking crushing it. Commander Wolf recently, I mean, everything going on with that. I mean, we have last year, what do we have? I mean, gosh, I can't think of the names right now. We had a couple of Jedis that just came out at the end of the year. Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? But you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, the figures that are coming out that are being announced is insane right now. So this is tough. For me personally, I love the design of this guy, and I'm almost tempted with being a rookie on knowledge on Darth Malgus. I'm still tempted to get this guy. Like I really, really am. Will I? It remains to be seen, but you got to admire when you see a darn good figure like that is here, because this one here looks sick. But yeah, definitely this would be in my my dark side display if I were to put him anywhere here for sure. So I'm talking like a madman about this thing, man. Help me out here. What do you got going on? What's your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I mean, I was going to ask you to sell me on the figure, and you've kind of
sell you. Are you getting two?
Tried to do me, trying to sell me on that one. So, I don't know. I mean, it's tough for me to do that with Star Wars, to just get a figure because he looks so badass. But then I do worry like that I will get more into him, and then down the road when it's too late. So you kind of gotta play a little game of risk there too. Like, am I gonna go for it and then sell him off later, or am I gonna miss out? But then I'm gonna come up with this newfound like love for him. I don't know, but he does look amazingly good. Like the veins going on in the head, the Sidious looking eyes there, like the Darth Malgus looks like a beast of a figure. There's one thing you said that I'm trying to go back to in my head here, but kind of run circles around it. So I'm just gonna keep looking at. So like even the face, the full face, the portrait right here.
Yeah, the scarring around his cheek there, like that's right out the game, man.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say is, as collectors, we typically like something about the villains. There's more passion.
There's an attraction
for those.
Yeah,
there's an attraction.
Yeah, there's an attraction to that for sure.
And this is no different. So, I mean, yeah, it's like the chick who always goes after the bad guy. The bad boy. It's the same thing here. Like, yeah, he looks.
Look at the size of this guy.
He makes Vader look like a kind of a Boy Scout a little bit.
I mean, he definitely is imposing his own right, because Vader's always been the tallest of every Star Wars figure outside of a Chewbacca. So it is quite interesting to see somebody taller than even Vader, especially in the new body Vaders that we're getting now too. So yeah, it tells you everything you need to know about this guy, man. This guy means business. I mean, like I said, you really like owe it to yourself, like just to kind of look at the backstory about this guy, because he has one of the most interesting stories I've recently come across in Star Wars. Like really just fleshed out, really an impressive character. And honestly, like, just doing research on it alone for tonight, so I didn't sound like a total noob. I was like, damn, when this show is over, I want to go back and look at some more here because, yeah, he's dare I say, I mean, he can honestly, I'm going to get some flack for this here, but he can possibly rival Vader's story, just how deep his story goes. So it's interesting stuff. It really is.
Well, it's a nice thing about YouTube as well. We can just kind of voice search, Darth Malgus, and then boom, hour later, you're filled with all this knowledge and whatnot. So, I mean, that might happen to me too, where I get into the character. What's the time period on Darth Malgus? How far behind Anakin's story is it?
Before, you mean before?
Yeah,
Vader's
before.
Story?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know the exact time frame, but I mean, it's the Old Republic, so this predates way before him, before Sidious, before Yoda, even. So, yeah. Okay. So this is a long time in the past here.
Detailed armor with LED light up function. 3 display styles. I'm hoping they do the hood better than they did Revan.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that. It's very.
That one had a seam here, but then, I think that didn't have like a wire in the hood either. So that would, I don't know how they can do hoods that aren't wired, but yeah, hopefully they do the figure justice. But either way, like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Do you know what what this is for? Is it a breathing apparatus?
So he has a lot in common with Vader. So when Sidious rescued Anakin after his fight with Obi, and he had a lot of those cybernetics there, he basically gave him old scrolls from Sith lore here, and Darth Malgus specifically, because he had a lot to relate with. He had his interest in the dark sides. He had to learn cybernetics as well too. So that kind of is where the admiration Vader had for Malgus over here. So part of that is kind of, in a way, a connection to Vader's story and Malgus' story here. So the only difference is Malgus was more cutthroat than Vader was, because Vader was always conflicted with his feelings, right? But Malgus, he was just obsessed with being stronger with the dark side. So that's the only real difference between the two.
Tyler says, looks incredible, but a pass, no connection to the character. I feel like that's the mentality I do need to have right now. But he does look so damn cool. It's like almost looking for an excuse, to kind of fall in love with the character. So we also have Malgus for Emperor in the chat tonight. So he is definitely watching with a keen eye to what we're saying about this figure. But he says he's going to be a big boy on that base. And that base looked pretty unique as well. Separate rolling eyeballs, of course. I don't remember the last figure I've seen that doesn't have separate rolling eyeballs. But then we have that adjustable themed figure base with LED light up function. What do you think about this? This is kind of different because it looks like it tilts, so you can have it kind of facing different ways or tilt in different directions. Interesting that they've done that with the base. The base itself looks great. What do you think?
Certainly a unique, different thing that we haven't seen before. In theory, it looks cool. I don't know in execution, just thinking of myself weight distribution. I worry if it can hold the figure later on in time, or if it's going to kind of wear off.
Right.
You have no base at all. So, I mean, that remains to be determined. But instantly when I see something like this, I think of a lightsaber fight on this thing between two characters. That's what I would like to use that for if I was able to adjust the stand like this. It's interesting.
Yeah.
They're trying some new things. I mean, thankfully it's not sand with footprints, right? So, beggars can't be choosy.
Right.
But yeah, as an overall package, this is, even if you're not into this or know much about this, I mean, it's worth to keep an eye on this one here.
What's the price on this?
Not there yet. Sideshow's closed.
Up. Okay.
Sideshow's closed, yeah.
Okay.
So, probably no more tomorrow.
I think Malgus here has been refreshing Sideshow since last night. So
yeah,
okay, that makes sense. I forgot today is the holiday, so hey, it looks great, man. In a way, I'm a little jealous because, like we've talked about at the beginning of the show, I'd love more OT stuff, but that's just not the direction they're going right now. So still looks really good and really cool. I love the nylon material of the suit. So it's nice that they're going to that, for these new Vader type figures, so that hopefully they last a lot longer than the pleather. I haven't had one peel, but granted, I've only been collecting for almost 5 years, so I can't believe that it's been almost 5 years already.
Time flies, brother.
I know. But yeah, I mean, he looks great. He's a unique character, which is awesome too. But yeah, he's a villain, so that's obviously going to be really cool and really attractive, as DLO put it. But I don't know. It's tough. I'm kind of with tighter FL on this one.
Well, but I'm saying, like, when you have like Sith users and Jedis and stuff like that, it's hard to like pass them up here, right? I mean, it's just because they're unique characters, they're part of the lore, and one to extend to another there. But at the same time, like, you know, these are the types of figures you want to flesh out your Star Wars displays, because they really like anchor the whole thing down. Just because, you know, you're going to have your troopers, and, you know, more power to you. You got your troopers there, but you need something next to it there. And somebody like this who's in the background, or maybe has like maybe 2 troopers behind him or something like that, whatever you want to play around with here, just to kind of make it your own. Like, he's your centerpiece. Like, these are centerpiece pieces, right? This is an army builder.
You feel comfortable putting him with like just anything almost, or is it got to be like a Revan and like surrounded by other Sith characters, or like is there a certain look or a certain setup that this guy works best with, or because he is so far back in the timeline, or like you know, before
there's not necessarily anything that, you know, you can accessorize them with there. Yeah, I mean, it's imagination all day. It's it's all about Sith users over there. So like I said earlier, like the first thing that came to my mind is put him with Sidious, put him with Vader, Dooku, even. Just make yourself your own dark side display, and there you go. You know, my
local store has a Dooku on trade-in available, but I don't have anything for him to go with. And they also still have the Snow Troopers 2-pack.
They'll never get rid of that one.
Dude, it's been a year and a half that they've had it there, and it's just, I feel like it's just waiting for me to come and rescue it. You know,
probably is.
I'm like, so I sold Harley today, and I'm like, do I just sell like 3 more figures and just go pick it up? Because I did talk them down to like 10% off. So,
well, everybody keeps saying that they're going to appear in the new Mando movie. Yeah. So if you waited this long, I say just wait a little bit longer.
Probably should. You know me though.
I know you. That's why I'm saying this.
I get some in my head, and I
want this on record. So if he does decide to pick this up after the stream, it's on record that DLO tried to talk him out of this. But Jedi is gonna Jedi.
Yeah, it's OT, man. So
I know, I get it, man. Listen, I love mine. I love mine, dude.
But you do, son of a.
All right, what do we got next, man?
Anyway,
I know we got some goodies.
We got a nice pool.
Let's go. Who had this on their bingo card?
I was gonna say, did you see this coming? I don't know why this is doing this, but
did after the teases of the other characters, when they started teasing Blade and announced X-23.
Did you think you'd see those other ones first?
Yeah, because honestly, like, I mean, they had me for a second. They had me in the first half, right? Because they really they did Lady Pool, they did Kid Pool, and I was like, are they really not going to do Blade and Gambit and, you know, maybe a brown suit Wolverine, which, by the way, that's totally going to happen, by the way. I'm going to wish that into existence. That brown suit Wolverine is definitely going to happen. But yeah, I thought to myself, man, like, I wonder if they'll do Nice Pool. I mean, it's a Ryan Reynolds sculpt. It's a good looking Deadpool suit. I mean, they practically have everything there. I mean, so yeah, it's here.
Gonna be like, this is gonna be hardcore for some people, and extremely hardcore the opposite direction for others. Like, not even gonna blink an eye at this. But it's interesting that this is like the first Ryan Reynolds head sculpt that we're getting, and not Deadpool,
like the Deadpool version. Yeah.
Well, and Brooke brought that up. He's like, isn't it funny that this is the first Ryan Reynolds head sculpt was Nice Pool?
Announced. Remember, we still got the teaser from Ryan Reynolds himself with the battle damage Deadpool. So I mean, that could still very much be happening.
Somebody's salty here,
man. Aaron,
come on now. And to be fair, pretty much everything is in BST for $100.
Yeah, I mean, you may not be wrong. You may not be wrong, but I mean, there's still a lot of people who love Deadpool. This movie specifically here. So, in Marvel wise on the horizon, how much is there to really be excited about? This is a worthwhile pickup for somebody, you know. For me, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this one from afar. I'm going to keep myself on a diet when it comes to Marvel. I'll pick up Gambit. I'll probably pick up Blade if they decide to make him, but I just want Wolverine, Deadpool, and those 2 other guys, and I'm pretty happy with that. But they're gonna go hard into this because there's not much Marvel out there. Like after this is Fantastic Four, and Hot Toys already made an announcement that they're teasing that they're gonna make that. So that means they're gonna make 3 out of the Fantastic Four according to Hot Toys, because that's how Hot Toys does team ups. So you'll get Fantastic 3. But yeah, man. So I mean, it's a dope looking figure. I mean, it's a dead ringer for Ryan Reynolds. Like, I don't see anything issues with the sculpt. I mean, what do you think about it? It's
kind of funny too. The facial expression kind of like makes me chuckle a little bit inside.
It's a great expression because I know where it's coming from. It's like, you know, I need to protect this, right? I remember that scene in the movie.
Innocent style of Ryan Reynolds. Like he was more of like the, you know, the free loving kind of guy, and that facial expression kind of says it.
Well, what's going to be great is when somebody gets this figure in hand and they use the head sculpt to customize it. Someone makes like a Van Wilder or something like that. Like, because that's going to happen. Someone's 100% going to do that.
Yeah. Interesting that Kibble says they didn't do Artisan. Kind of weird because of how long the hair is. You're not going to have any really movement in that head. Like, it's kind of like maybe a Black Widow or like my Wonder Woman figure, where slight turn, like maybe like this much, but you're not going to be able to look like this much unless you heat that stuff up, but then it's going to like wing out, and I don't know, it's not going to look good. So there's going to be some restriction there, but nonetheless it's pretty cool. I know Steve got his Deadpool in today, and he said he loves the figure. It's like very underrated, so I'm assuming this has most of that same stuff, so it's probably going to be a really badass figure as well. But it's cool. It's not for me. Sounds like you're pretty much just sticking to the basics as well. But
for sure,
here you can kind of see the difference between the 2 standing together. A little bit different in the armor as well. So it's not just like a straight up Deadpool with a different head sculpt. So a little bit
like
different.
I can see like someone like an X-Men Supreme who would pick up something like this. Like this would be right up his alley, you know, something like that. So
yeah. It says, if you guys watch WWE, Nicepool could pass for being tag team member of Pretty Deadly.
Yes, boy. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Van Wilder, yummy donuts.
Oh,
quit showing your age, DLO.
I'm getting up there, guys. I'm getting up there.
Let's see what else we got here in these photos. What else? What else comes to mind? I mean, obviously,
I will say the expression limits what you can do with this figure. Just like it's a great expression, but it's a very specific one, and it doesn't lead to anything other than some kind of comedic kind of pose to it there. So I think that's where it's gonna limit like what it can do for me on my shelves here. Just because if I want to put in action pose and stuff like that, that's the phase that it's gonna be on there when it's being done like that. But like, for comic reasons alone, like I think this is a really cool figure over here. But yeah, I will say like also like having the grin face there, very challenging for Hot Toys. They did it really well this time. This one doesn't look like a Paul Rudd kind of terrible. This is like perfect. It really is. So I just don't know what I would do with this figure. I'm being honest with you. Like I don't know like where I'd find a place for this one in the collection. It's a great looking figure. Just like, I don't know, maybe you guys are honest. Maybe they're going too hard into this Deadpool line here, but I would not mind if they do a brown suit Wolverine. That would be 100% something I would 100% get there. But yeah, just all this other stuff. Well, it's a popular movie. They're going to make figures about it. That's just kind of how this stuff works.
Also, newly developed dog pool. What is this? The second or third iteration of dog pool?
Geez, I've lost count, man. They include this thing like Grogu, for God's sakes, you know. Every figure has had one so far. I think, exception of Wolverine. So, but he's ugly. No doubt about it. He is ugly.
I just got word that you and I are going to be holding down the fort for the rest of the evening. So, Brick's punishment will be that we will still show his list, but he will not be here to defend himself
Oh,
for
we're gonna
the
rip it to
choices he has
shreds.
made. So
Wow.
that will be his punishment for not being here. But in all other matters, we're still good to go. So just want to let you guys know that. But yeah, separate rolling eyeballs, of course. And here's everything that comes. Is this like a special release too? I mean, I'm just asking because I don't know. This is like kind of like Aaron on this easy pass. Not going to look much into it. Golden Guns. Is this like a thing that they did with Deadpool as well, or does it just come with the gold guns?
So with him, it comes with the golden gun. So this was a one-time exclusive with the original Deadpool. If you
Right.
pre-order it soon, so there goes my limited stuff there. But yeah, I mean, that's actually a good point to bring up as well too. So if you wound up getting the regular Deadpool that wasn't time exclusive, then you can always borrow the Desert Eagles from this one over here. And there you go. You get the best of both worlds. If that's something you're collecting over there,
swap them out. Would you get the Calverine? Calverine.
Yes, you got it. The Calverine. Man, that's a good one there. Like, I don't know, man, because he's Superman.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the cameo. I did, but just like I don't know if I want it. Maybe if he got the role, maybe I'd go back and grab it there. But yeah, for me, like I don't know about you. I don't know how big a Wolverine fan you are, but me personally, like the brown suit is everything for me when it comes to Wolverine. And when I saw the movie and they showed that in the beginning, I was just like, they should make this one instead. They should have made this the suit instead of the yellow suit. But I don't know. If that comes out, that's the only thing that's going to get me excited past what I already know I'm going to get from this series here. Because I'm kind of like, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm kind of at this point, I'm kind of Deadpooled out at this point.
I'm kind of there too. Like, and I was never the biggest Deadpool fan either. So like, I wasn't even sure if I'd get one. I'm not, I don't know. It's just not my bag. Like I'm a Wolverine fan. I'm not the biggest X-Men fan or anything like that. So I'm not nearly as big of a Wolverine fan as you probably. I would like some sort of representation of him, but I'm not rushing to pre-order that figure either, just because again, there's so much other stuff coming. And as cool as that figure looks, is that the representation of Wolverine I want? I don't know. It's probably the best looking figure, but is it would I rather have Logan, or just the X-Men? Which X-Men was that you had that you sold recently in the
Days of
suit?
Future Past?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, great.
Not
one.
my favorite movie, but a good look as well. So it's tough because they've done some good Wolverine figures, but there's not too many from like a amazing movie. But I mean, Deadpool versus Wolverine was pretty good. It's just I don't know how I feel about it. I guess it's just there's other stuff that's more.
It's a great movie. It's not gonna like reinvent the wheel, right? It's not groundbreaking stuff. It was a phenomenal, fun movie. A movie I think we needed to have. I think we needed to laugh a little bit, quite honestly. And it did its job, and it did. It paid good homage to the Fox universe before it, right? And that's some of that stuff was good, some of it wasn't, like you said. And I think the stuff like with Hugh Jackman, worth picking up the figure. If you're a Deadpool fan, you already know you're going to pick up the figure, and everything else is a bonus. Like me, I am an X-Men guy. Like for Marvel, for me, it's always been X-Men above everything else. Before Spider-Man, before anything else that they had, X-Men was my jam. Still is my jam. So to get an opportunity to get somebody like Gambit, who's one of my favorite characters from X-Men, like once that goes up for pre-order, I am going to pre-order that bad boy. Yeah, I'm going to pre-order that bad boy. So yeah. But everything else, like I got to be very picky with Marvel just because it takes away from a Star Wars. So
I agree. Like, because now I'm even like considering like Palpatine from, I think it's Revenge of the Sith, right? That's on pre-order.
Yeah.
Like because I have an Anakin, I have some clone troopers from that time period. So like Revenge of the Sith Emperor might be cool on that shelf. So like that stuff has taken more of a precedent than some of this Marvel stuff. And with Marvel, I'm trying to really just collect Infinity War Endgame style stuff with Spider-Verse as well. So DC's been killing it. I mean, maybe their movies aren't that great lately, but with the figures that are coming out, DC has been doing a really good job with, or Hot Toys, I guess, has been doing a really good job with the DC figures, and those are just bangers too. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, this is where some of the stuff kind of has to get left behind for certain collectors.
Yeah, unless you're a diehard, you don't need 2 Deadpools, right? Or whatever variations out there. So yeah, we're just all curating, man. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, shout out to Collector Joy. I saw his post on Instagram about all the figures that were announced in 2024. This is hands down the most we've ever received. So something that you would have said yes to instantly off of like FOMO and just kind of everything else. Like you even that doesn't have the same hold on me it had before, because like, yeah, like I don't want to miss out today. What's going to come out tomorrow? Because I know something else is going to be announced. So you're always just kind of, looking for the next thing and deciding which one's going to be the one that you decide to take home.
Yeah, and then sometimes it just depends on what are you all paying for at that time too. So like,
for sure,
if I'm already paying for 4 figures, for the next 6 months,
yeah,
I might have to wait and possibly miss out. It's just kind of crazy how things.
You got to balance out a $500 artisan, and there's a 4-pack for like $3 million out there, and all kinds of stuff. That man, wouldn't it be cool if I got that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not easy, man. It's not easy.
Just going backwards and finding these deals on figures, that you maybe didn't have. So yeah,
we're probably all going to look at this one and say, hey, this is a nice figure, but I don't think anybody outside of some diehards are going to get this one. So happy for them. I will root you on from the sidelines there and praise your figure from a safe financial distance.
Same thing, and I think it's going to be fun to do that too, because it's going to be fun to see all of the variants in people's displays. So like,
yeah, and that's going to come back. Cool. That's a big thing too. That's a great point, Graham, because like we've all kind of gotten stuck on this Star Wars merry-go-round, and there's going to be some variation now, because someone's going to want something like this. Someone's going to want a Jack Sparrow. Someone's going to want a Civil War, Captain America. I mean, I beg your pardon, Winter Soldier, Captain America. So I mean, there's things in DC, like you said, yeah, like DC is coming back with a force. Like they're doing some stuff. And again, 90th anniversary was announced that night as well too, yesterday. So we know there's stuff coming in from there. So all this stuff is being balanced right now. So I think we're gonna have a lot of variation next year. So if we do tours, like say, like you do a new tour, I do a new tour, your collection is going to look massively different from mine and vice versa, and everybody else that does something like that. So it's a good thing and a bad thing, but I think mostly it's a good thing, because I think this is going to bring a lot more passion back into collecting, because it's going to be really about you and not what we're all doing together anymore. So it's going to be a fun year.
I agree. And yeah, it's for those people that maybe used to always just have one Deadpool figure. Now you can have like a whole shelf of Deadpool figures. So it's gonna be cool to see what people do with them, because they're also funny. They're comedic figures, so it's gonna be fun to see how people pose them and whatnot. So, all right, should we get to the 2024 top 10 figures?
Yes, let's start with bricks.
All right, let me just give me a minute, because we were starting with yours, so I'm going to.
We can start with mine. I don't care. It's fine.
We'll reshuffle this. We'll do bricks, yours, then mine. Let me open here. All right. We got 86 in the house. Thank you guys so much for watching DLO and myself tonight. Too sweet to all of you for being here on New Year's Day 2025 with us. We love you all. And we hope we don't rile anybody up with these lists.
We're going to.
These are from the heart, and these are tough to really like make your mind up with. Let's see. I'm going to hide the sidebar. Perfect. All right, you ready for this? We're going to start with Brick. All right, we're going to share this screen. He's going to be so pissed that he isn't here to defend himself. All right.
Oof, right away. Right away.
All right.
All right.
So now stick with us too, because we're going to vote like we've always done. And I think did Brick win all 3 of the best list votes?
I believe he has. Yes.
Which is funny because that one he got totally ripped apart, and then he won best list. Which yeah, whatever. But
Yeah,
so
rigged.
so these are the top 10 figures that were released in 2024 by Brick Artemis. So at number 1, he has the red and blue suit. So he's got a Spider-Man above everybody else there, which I wouldn't expect any different from him. And of course, now he's here and he's in the chat too. So
welcome, Brick.
Yeah, welcome. Some in-art figures as well. He's got a decent amount of in-art. 4 out of the 10 are in-art figures. And 2 Vaders. He loves that 89 Batman, so he's got him sitting at number 5. That was his number 1 for DC, and I believe the Obi Vader was his number 1 for Star Wars, and then Spider-Man was his number 1 for Marvel. What jumps out at you here, DLO?
Well, the obvious. There's 2 Spider-Man at the top. Let's start with the obvious.
He went with his heart.
Completely partial to his love for Spider-Man here. Look, Spider-Man was great. That red and blue suit is great, but I will make the argument, at least just off the list here. I'm not going to go over what I would put in different because this is his list.
Right.
So I wouldn't put that Spider-Man that high simply because I think the head sculpt is doing the heavy lifting. And I think if you take out the head sculpt from this figure, I don't think it's as high on this list. Like, I would honestly put the symbiote suit from Spider-Man 2 actually ahead of this one. Not to say I put either one in first, but yeah, I would probably shuffle these around a little bit. Interesting one that was Nick's reading my mind because that's the next thing that caught my eye. Now, from what I don't know anything about the character or the game, other than I hear it's an amazing game and I have no idea how to play it. So I don't know where you can find a copy of this to play. But interesting to see that one make his list because I don't recall seeing this on his original.
It was number 2.
Was it?
It was number 2 on his DC / miscellaneous list.
Gotcha. Interesting.
I wasn't sure. I'm still not sure what the character name is or what it's really from, but I mean, it does look good.
Is it the Monkey King? I mean, I've heard of the Monkey King before. Is this
Brick? What's this one called? Number 6.
I've heard of that. But
he also says, to be fair, the red suit came with one of the best sculpts and dioramas of the year. He says, Wukong, one of the most beautiful figures. Yeah, it is.
Fair enough. There you go. Wukong.
And it's by InArt. This one's tough. Paul.
Paul's a late one, yeah.
It's tough because we really haven't seen much of him like in hand or anything like that. But from the images we've seen, that thing looks spectacular as well. So that one's a tough one. Aragorn at 9, and then Harry Potter at 8. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. So half of his list is not on my list. So 5 figures from his list I don't have on mine. So there's going to be some pretty good differences between the lists here. I do like that he's given Vader some love. He's got Obi-Wan ahead of Return of the Jedi, which I do agree with.
Yeah.
I love the 89 Batman, but it's just tough with how they kind of took a step backwards from if there was no such thing as a DX9, I think I'd like this figure even more. Because
I think that's fair.
We kind of go off of that DX9. It's like, what the hell are you doing here? So
I think
when
people arguing that one is better than the new one,
right?
It tells you made a mistake somewhere,
right?
Because it should never be that way. But yeah, I'm with you on that one there. I can't justify it, like, because I feel how you feel about that Batman there.
Love it.
I mean, I sold mine to get this one, and I do love this figure, but it's just like part of me is like, man, like it should have been better than what it did. So I get what you're saying.
This is the biggest surprise to me is Bane is missing entirely from his top 10.
I did catch that too.
So that's
crazy.
That's interesting because he's seen Bane in person at my place, and Bane is just such a phenomenal figure. Like the realism in that figure, the medical silicone for the seamless body, just the beefiness, the diorama base of that figure as well. So I'm a little surprised he didn't show that figure a little bit of love on this list, but I also understand that you can't give everybody props and whatnot. But I think that's going to hurt him on this list with the fans in the chat. I think not having Payne might make that 3-0 go to 3-1. So we'll see.
Yeah, it definitely hurt his campaign prospects for sure.
This is another tough one. Hansel says Joker Artisan Figure of the Year. This was one I really wish that I had in hand, because I think it could definitely be number one for me as well. And maybe it is. We'll see. But it isn't. I'm just going to say it isn't, because, from what I'm going to say here, you're going to know that. But I think that was tough for me to put it number one, not seeing it. I don't know. I do believe it is going to be top 1, 2, 3. But the fact that I just haven't been able to see it with my own eyes, kind of did a little something for me.
One omission that I'm a bit surprised by that is that neither the Hot Toy or the inner the Batman made the list.
Yeah,
very surprised about that. You would think you'd see one or the other, just because what a year it was for those two figures, respectfully. So interesting.
He says he's the most diverse.
Not true.
Let's see. No way Artisan Joker's Figure of the Year, in my opinion. And that's the thing. We're all going to have different, strong
Everybody's going to have their own opinion.
But I was a little surprised that no Superman or Batman from InArt. But we got Wukong in here and Harry Potter. But it's his list, man.
It's his list.
What's up, Gio? Happy New Year.
So, Graham, let me ask this here. If you had to phone in a friend and help Rick out with his list, where would these figures land if you were fixing the list for him?
Well, that's tough, because we're basically saying you're wrong and I'm right.
Well, no, we're all going to do it to each other here, so it's not like anybody's doing wrong.
Yeah, you and I are going to do it here because we're the only ones here tonight. But I think, and this is tough. Like I said, Paul, it's tough when you haven't seen him in person, but I got to say Paul easily leapfrogs these two. Joker leapfrogs these two. And then I get it. Like, he's a super hardcore Spider-Man fan, but I do think there's something special about this Obi-Wan Vader as well.
Yeah. It's a good list.
And you gotta have Bane's gotta be on the list.
Yeah. I mean, again, aside from specific choices here, I mean, it's a good list. I mean, it definitely feels like a brick list. If you know brick, this is a brick list for sure. The only thing that I would say, honestly, for myself, I would move Artisan Joker up higher and probably Paul up higher, and maybe bring either one of the Vaders down or one of the Spider-Man down. Like, I don't know, to have two Vaders, two Spider-Man to take the top 4, that's pretty strong in my book there. But I get it.
Wait. Have both Vaders top 4? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, he has 2 Spider-Man and 2 Vaders occupying the top 4 spots on his list. So I would probably move some of that around a little bit there. But I mean, outside of the Monkey King over here, I can't say anything. I can't say anything about it because I don't know it. So I'm not going to pretend to question that there, because I've heard good things about the game. But yeah,
we're counting Jack Sparrow's 2025 because technically in Hong Kong it was 2025.
Yep, this is true.
So just FYI, everybody, nobody has Jack Sparrow on the list. But X-Man says, I feel like one of the InArt pieces should be top. They're new and so detailed. I mean, like, I think the functionality with InArt has a ways to go, but I do think aesthetically their figures do look pretty amazing. So
yeah,
hard to not acknowledge that. Like, Paul looks great, even Aragorn looks good, Harry Potter, and even this Wukong looks good. It's just not one that I think most people are gonna really care about. But if he does, then it's his list.
I think Aragorn really changed my mind about InArt, truth be told. Like, I was really down on them. I thought they were extremely overrated. But then I got Aragorn in hand, and honestly, in photo, didn't look that great. But in person, when I opened it up, I was like, whoa, I was not expecting this. This was a lot better. And ironically enough, it's not the figure that most InArt fans say is a good figure. They're the one. They'll tell me that that's not the best, and I think it's one of the best figures that they made. Ironically enough, so I mean, everybody's gonna have a different opinion on these things here, but yes.
Well,
I mean,
speaking of difference of opinion, why don't we go to your list?
Are we going to put up a poll for Brick's list here, or what are we're going to hold off?
Well, do you want to? I was thinking we do all of ours and then the poll of who is the best list.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay.
Sounds
cool.
Good. Sounds good.
Cool.
All right, DLO The Collector. So you have Brick's number 1 figure at number 10, but he's still there. You got Bane in there. Black Adam. I could have suffered from being released early on in 2024 and then being a little bit forgotten about, possibly. You have the Iron Man Mark 6 with Gantry. Paul Atreides up to number 3. So a lot of yours are flipped from Bricks. Like you have his 1 is your 10, his 7 I think is your 1, his 10 is your 3. So yeah, your top 5 is completely different from his top 5. So that's interesting. Go ahead.
No, give us a little. You pick it apart and then I'll jump in, I guess.
I did. You said, so you kind of copped out on me. So you said Hot Toys / in art Batman at number 9. I put in art because you can't have 2 figures no matter how much you want to straddle that line there. So I'm just saying in art's better. I put in art at 9. I think so what surprised me about Bricks is he left Bane off the list. What surprises me about your list, because I remember you talking very highly of this figure when Obi-Wan Vader came out. You said the Return of the Jedi Vader would be the iconic, the better version, the one that most people would want. And yet he's not even on your list. So walk me through on what was going through your mind when you left Return of the Jedi Vader off the list.
Well, I mean, for starters, I went back to my original list that I did for each one, right? I wanted to be as consistent as I possibly can and not kind of flip around my ideas here as much as possible. Now, thanks, Hammer God. For Paul Atreides was just a curveball. Wasn't expecting that to drop, and you should be grateful. You should be grateful he's on this list.
He actually did ask if he could take him off.
I thought about taking him off.
It was too late.
I said if I don't put him on my list, Brick would disown me, but that's fine. That's okay. But anyways, so I mean, the Joker 4-pack, not a big fan of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, but shout out to D Knight. Amazing videos on all 4 figures. Just like, how could you leave them off the list? To be honest with you, they are fantastic. Paul Atreides came out amazing as well too. So to answer your question about Return of the Jedi, I had to think about these figures that I'm putting ahead of it over here. So there's only a 10, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe he's 12 or 11.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
blame it on Brick. I could have put him at 10. I don't know what to say.
I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody has in-art Superman on their top 10. I couldn't, with all the problems that I had with that figure. Again, aesthetically it looks great, but problems with that figure functionality.
Anyway, for the list, I just kept it simple here. Like, if you go 1 through 10 over here, if you question any one of these figures here, name which one you would take off the list or move down the list. Actually, that's probably a good question I should ask you. What would you replace on my list to get that figure on this list?
Return of the Jedi Vader?
Yeah. What would you take off my list to put that in?
I'd probably take Black Adam off your list.
You're nuts, bro. You're such a hater. You're such a hater. Black Adam is an amazing figure.
You know what's interesting?
Head sculpts.
Out of these 2 lists we've seen so far, nobody has Darth Revan in the top 10. What's up with that? I got hate for not having him on my Star Wars list.
I will say this about Star Wars. As much as I love Star Wars, I will be the first one to admit, I think this year, 2024 specifically, was a soft year for Star Wars. I felt like the figures that I was most anticipating, which is the prequel, Anakin, Padme, Mace Windu, etc. Like, I felt like they felt short of expectations, and they were good, but they weren't as great as they were supposed to be. So if they came out as good as I was expecting them to be, they'd probably all be on this list and replacing a bunch of these figures. But I think 2025 is going to be a better year for Star Wars. I think Star Wars is going to be bigger on this list next year, but
I think
for this year, they didn't quite do it for me.
Well, I think Star Wars just kind of there's so many figures too that they all kind of blend in. Like they do really well with Star Wars in general. Like they all look really good, but it's tough to find a Star Wars figure
standout
that stands out. But the Obi-Wan Vader was like doing it for everybody, and I totally agree. Like that figure was awesome. And then Return of the Jedi was just so iconic. It's Darth Vader, pivotal moment in the movies. So I get why Brick had that one on his list. I thought you would have, just because I just remember you saying like that was your Vader. That was the one you would keep if you had one. That was like the one.
And ironic enough, I still would, just because of the and that's different behind too. It as well too. You know,
it's more nostalgic, but you're kind of just putting that aside and saying, but overall as a figure, like shit, you're getting a cracked open
process there. As much as like I prefer my Return of the Jedi, I can admit that the Vader from Obi-Wan is better.
And I struggle with that too with my list too. Like some of these is it me being biased because I love the figure, and it's kind of, you want it to be that though, because you don't want it to be what's everybody else saying, but at the same time you also want to be fair. Like I love this character, but is this figure better than that one? So that's the tough way to kind of go about these lists too. And some of these, it's really hard for me especially to put a figure I've never seen with my own eyes higher than a figure I own in the collection and I love. But I also am trying to do, hey, what does this come with? How does the head sculpt look? You know, is it an iconic character as well? And kind of putting that all into it when I make the list. But yeah, it's not easy, because if I'm doing a list of just my favorites, it's going to be a little bit different than maybe even this
exactly.
So,
that's where it's harder to come up with these lists here, because you got to take a lot of your favorites out of the equation. Hint, hint, brick, huh? What? But
in Brick's defense too, the Wukong, he's putting it on there because it does look so
for sure
damn authentic and good and detailed as well. So like fair point there too.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, like, just think of it from other collectors' perspective, considering my own opinions on things here. That's how I kind of put this list together here, because I can't ignore quality. I think that would be wrong for me to say this is my top list. Yeah, right. And I can't acknowledge that there's some good figures in it that even I won't even get, but I will not consider good. Like that 4-pack, not for me, but it is damn good, and I will 100% back that up.
Yeah. X-Man says, from a technical standpoint, nobody ever aces these lists. Too much popularity being considered. If it was technical category, these would look drastically different. The other thing that I struggle with is the newness of a figure. You know, just getting into the collection, that excitement. So does he automatically go a spot or two higher than he should? Maybe.
Right.
Like that Mantis.
Bias about it, just the newer thing.
And Mantis was my number one for Marvel. Because A, I own her. It was the only Marvel figure I owned on the list. B, she's one of a kind. They don't do her like Iron Man. C, the sculpt is fantastic and one of the best sculpts of the year, I think. And you could say, well, you can't pose her because of the suit deteriorates. Well, same thing with Spider-Man. Same thing with a bunch of these other figures too, is like if you pose the shit out of them, they're going to deteriorate really quick too. So like for me, that's almost like I'm taking that into consideration too, and that's why she's like higher on my list, is because she is one of a kind that they absolutely nailed. So yeah, it's tough because we all think differently. So sure. I think your list is solid. The Joker took me by surprise, but I think not because it's a bad decision. I just think because it just came out, so I wasn't even really considering it. But I haven't seen enough on it. But freaking InArt always knocks it out of the park, you know, when it comes to how these figures look. So I'm glad you're showing some love to InArt Batman. The Iron Man with Gantry.
Let's be clear, it's Hot Toys / InArt Batman. I want to be very clear. I don't want to upset my Hot Toys Batman owners here. They cancel each other out. I had no play in what photo he picked. That was clearly his intention. But yes,
I said this fucker is always, you know, he tried to do Gandalf. You know, that was 2023. Now he's trying to say I want both.
My list, my rules.
Jordan has InArt Paul, Aragorn, Bane, Phoenix Joker, Obi-Wan Vader, InArt Batman, red and blue suit Spidey.
Yeah.
and then Joker. It's a good
And they're
list.
all in the conversation. Like so far, the last two lists. I mean, each one of your figures has made a list. So I mean, that's a darn good list.
Yeah. Paul at 3 seems high right now. I don't know, man.
No, bro.
I don't know.
No, that thing is bomb.
Kind of sad I'm not getting it. Kind of sad.
I thought you didn't like Dune. I thought you were.
No, I do. I do like Dune. I just don't want to collect
the first
it.
one.
No, I do like Dune. Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I just don't really want to collect it. It's, another one of those things where do I want to spend the premium money on in art again, or can I get some other stuff from Hot Toys?
I'm just looking for, diversity. Like I think like when will I ever get another Dune character or figure like that? Like Jack Sparrow in the beginning of the conversation. I think those go when you get those one-offs in a case together. I really like the look at that now lately. So
yeah.
So I mean, I got my line collecting in my IPs, DC, Star Wars, but I have a soft spot for these one-offs as well too. So
yeah, no, I totally get that. And you got a lot of diversity on your list. Do you have Bane in hand yet, or not quite?
No, it's probably going to be another week or two. So I'm still waiting.
I'm curious. I mean, again, so you haven't seen any of your top 4 in hand, so that makes it difficult. But I'd be curious if seeing one or the other adjusts your list at all too, down the road. So this would be kind of fun to visit next year at some point too, maybe midway through the year when things slow down. Hey, now that all these figures are in hand, you've had some time with them. Is this still your number one? I think it'd be fun to kind of go back.
Yeah, we can do that. I think that's a good idea.
If anything changes. So, all right. We good here, everybody? Yeah.
I think
Kibble
so.
says Bane in hand is incredible.
I can't wait. I'm waiting.
Brick says big standouts, no Return of the Jedi Vader, Black Adam is on there, and a lot of in art at the top. I do remember though when Black Adam came out, though, everybody was saying figure of the year. So to be fair, I think that's just one of those that suffered from being released early on in the year and then forgotten about because there is so much stuff coming out at the same time and recently. So I will say a lot of people were saying that back in the day. All right, time for my list. I got torn apart the last time we did this just a little bit. I left the show a little sore, so we're gonna see if this happens again. But here's my list, and
okay.
I was a little surprised that again Rob didn't have Spider-Man 2099 in his list, being the big Spider-Verse fan that he is. But I think this is a good list, because I did it, but a couple surprises that neither of you guys had was 2099 and then Mantis. And again, I think Mantis suffers from Black Adam syndrome a little bit too. Earlier released in the year, so forgotten about. Not a major character, not like a Spider-Man or an Iron Man or a Bane. So I feel like she just gets overlooked in that aspect. But what I said before was one of a kind. You're not going to see a lot of her. The sculpt is fantastic. Just an amazing figure in general. Joker could be higher if I had him in hand, but being that I have the other two in hand and I've seen them, they just went up to 1 and 2 for that. I do like Return of the Jedi Vader. Paul, I bumped him to 5, so I thought that was a little bit surprising just on my own behalf. And then still love that in-art Batman. And then I had to show Iron Man some love at 10 just because the gantry, it's an imposing figure, really good looking. But what are your thoughts here?
Well, I love how you played your case before I've had a chance to talk about your list. So that goes to show you the man is he's very nervous about his list. The man is very nervous about this list. Okay, so let's see here. I think your list is good. I like what you have on here. It definitely stays true to your likes and stuff like that there. I am a bit surprised, despite as much as I agree with you on Mantis. I think she's a wonderful figure. I'm a bit surprised she made it on the top 10. Like, I will agree with you.
The number one Marvel at the time. So, I mean,
I appreciate you being consistent. It's just that, like, I know you and I love Mantis because we love the Guardians, right? And but I just don't know if everybody loves the Guardians as much as we do.
That's my list.
I know. But that's the only thing that I can say. Like that Spider-Man 2099 is sick. Like
I had him higher, but I had to bump him down. Being that he's animated,
Sure.
being that there are some flaws with the figure a little bit. So I actually had originally I was going to put Spider-Man 2099 at 5.
Mm-hmm.
But like looking at Batman and looking at Paul, just the realism factor just is it's too impressive to pass up. So
sure,
he dropped a couple spots down, but I do think it's an incredible figure. Great in anybody's collecting.
So I'm a bit surprised here because I mean you've been trying to convince me about that Obi-Wan for a minute. You love that a lot. I'm surprised he didn't sneak onto the list. Why didn't he make it?
So he would have been literally like 11 to 12. I thought about putting him at 10, but I felt like total package with the Iron Man, even though I personally like the Obi-Wan figure better, I do think with the gantry itself, it's hard to ignore that as a total package. You know, walking down the steps with all of the pieces being put on, it just looks incredible. You know, and honestly, like the Spider-Man, the blue and red suit, if we're being honest, doesn't do a ton for me just because I'm not going to collect a ton of Spider-Man figures. But if I would want one, I think it would be that one. So that's why he's kind of on the list too, because if I had to choose one to replace like my Iron Spider, I think it would be that one. But yeah, so Obi-Wan just kind of missed the cut. But head sculpt wise, it's incredible. And I do like the rock base as well. It's just can't get everything on here.
Okay. Well, honestly, I don't really have much to really say about your list here because, again, in a way, I kind of expected the list to look like that. I don't know if that's a knock or a compliment there. I'm going to say it's a compliment just because, like, oh, yeah, that sounds like exactly a list that Jedi would come up with here. I mean, I think it screams you here. I mean, I appreciate that you put my Mark 6 with gantry on that there. I know you have like no interest in Iron Man like I do. I'm on a kick right now. So I think I told you guys that I had a Christmas present on the way from Sideshow. It's the Mark 5. I'm going old school. I'm getting all my Iron Man together. So and it's because of this bad boy because it's that damn good. Spider-Man looks, I get it. I just, I love that head sculpt. I will not say anything negative about the head sculpt. I'm not crazy about the blue specifically they chose for this figure, like that electric blue to it there. So if I can get that head sculpt on another version of it, I would probably buy that instead of this suit. That's just my 2 cents here. I'm just not crazy about the suit itself. But
no,
Mantis,
that's fair.
Mantis, I know your love for the Guardians. I share your passion about it as well too.
I've been wanting her for a long time.
Yeah, I know. We all have. Trust me, we all have. And the fact that she got updated when we weren't even expecting one, that was a nice present there as well too. The 2099, I remember when we talked about this when it had no bodysuit and how this was going to be the biggest catastrophe, and they fixed it. So I can respect that.
Yeah.
Hey, in our Batman, I know how you feel about him here. In our Batman. So I don't think he's better or worse than Hot Toys. I think people are happy with their Batmans. They did well. No battle here, but
we can all be friends.
I'm surprised Paul is high for you because I just don't remember you being as excited about him when we were talking about him the first go around.
I wasn't because I didn't want to get into it and I didn't want to collect it. I didn't want to pay the money for it. I didn't want to buy another in-art figure. But I can admit the figure looks really good. But the suit also, we talk about Jack Sparrow with all the detail and the intricate, things going on in the suit. It's the same thing here. Like, it's just one of those figures that I think just really stands out because it just looks so incredibly accurate, but also realistic. I still think I would go a sculpted just because I don't want to risk the hair winging out. But I mean, sculpted, rooted, whatever you want to go with, I think both of the figures just look absolutely incredible. It turned out really good. So probably still not going to get it, but I can admire it from afar, and I know Brick's getting it, so I can head over to his house. And maybe down the road, I will have an opportunity to get it and I'll pull the trigger. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but for right now, there's just too much damn stuff. That Batmobile really kind of is hindering all the other stuff that I can get for a while. So that's kind of where I'm at. Vader, I felt it's just so good.
It is good.
Respecting Vader. And I think Brick and I actually lined up on this one. So we both had Vader at 4. But let me just check what you guys are what your feedback is so far on my list here. Brick said a 2099 in Mantis looks great, but not better than Aragorn and Potter and Wukong. Let's see. 10 in art Superman. So he's giving us his list here. Darth Vader, number 1. No Hulk figure. So she wasn't even on my... I don't know if she was on my list, actually, of Marvel. She
was on mine. She was number 2.
On yours.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
She could have made this list, 10. But I wanted to keep a friendship going. So she got booted to 11.
All right. So close. Honorable mention.
Yeah. I stand by that. She's fantastic.
Not too bad. Only getting that Bane from this list, so I support your number 1. I appreciate that. Mantis and Spider-Man 2099 are the only misses with this one, I think. I would switch 2099 with Batman. Okay, I'm not a Star Wars collector, but aren't all Vaders the same? It's like saying all Spider-Man figures are the same or all Batman figures are the same. Definitely different. Here... I can't get into it. Feel to Burn, hit me up on IG. We'll talk about it. But Toy Collector says loving my Bane and sculpted Joker, definitely top 2 for me that I have in hand. And my Joker is going to be shipping next week, I think. That I'm excited for. Bane is cool, but no split cut boots is really a bummer for me.
That's tough.
Very surprised not to see the Dark Knight Rises armory on any list. Didn't really like it.
Go back and watch last episode. You'll know.
Steve is just like, good God, like he's watching the replay. You guys just like murdered that figure.
I'm hearing people are liking it, so good for everybody. Just not for me.
Yeah. Quan says Kenobi Vader figure of the year. Brooke says, as much as I hear about you guys talk about Batman, how is he not number 1 for you guys? He's joking around, but because he's my favorite hero, man. He's my favorite hero. And
Steve's too. He's becoming a huge Batman fan.
That's right.
We're just waiting for one more to convert.
He's really fighting it.
Join us, Brick.
He's really fighting it. It's like Homer on the couch. Join us. Okay, we're caught up. Let's see. So now I'm gonna flash back between the 3. I need you guys to vote. We got 71 in the house. Don't leave. I need you to vote. So we're gonna start the poll here. So who has the best top 10 of 2024 list? Question mark.
I'm surprised I'm the only one that put that Joker 4-pack. That thing is sick.
That's true. I mean, that's true. It's
a 4-pack. Those don't exist until Anart decides to make them. A 4-pack?
All right. Exit out of that. We are going to... Okay, who has the best top 10 of 2024? We got DLO, Brick, and Jai. We're going to start the poll. I'm going to flash through. If you have any final thoughts, DLO, while I'm flashing through, go ahead. So here's Brick's list. He's got red and blue suit Spider-Man at 1, black suit 2. He's got the Vaders, followed by the surprise of 89 Batman, another surprise of Wukong, and then the Hot Toys Joker, followed by 3 in art figures right there. No Bane on the list, which I think is the biggest surprise. Any other big surprises? No in art Batman we kind of talked about.
Yeah. That Batman 89 cracking the top 10. That's a tough one for me.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. Tough one for me.
We got D'Lo's list. So he's got Bane at 4. Black Adam seemed to be the little bit of the polarizing figure that was added. He's got Aragorn. Joker 4-pack is number 2. Is Paul too high at 3? You guys decide. No Return of the Jedi Vader was the surprise here, I think. So that one was left off of his list. Joker, number 1. So we all have different number 1s, which is pretty interesting. Different number 2s as well. And then Jedi's List, which was Bane taking the crown, followed by the Obi-Wan Vader, which is amazing figure. Joker, which I'm waiting for in hand. And some surprises here was 2099 Spider-Man and Mantis. But you got to give Mantis some love. Got to give her some love.
She's a great figure, dude.
All right. Keep voting, guys. Keep voting.
Keep voting. May the odds forever be in your favor.
Aaron said the inclusion of Black Adam secured the list. The W for me.
Let's go. Let's go. I took a risk.
Toy Collector says more in common with DLO's list.
Thank you, sir.
Brick says 4-pack is cheating. No, and he says no Keaton love here. Dang, I love that Batman, and that was actually, I looked back and it was one of my most anticipated figures of the year. But the fact that they dropped the ball on it was a little.
That's tough.
concerning.
I mean, I don't want to take him off my list, but I got to call a spade a spade.
Right.
Let's see how Returns does next year. Bet you that one
As
turns
long
out
as they
good.
don't change anything on that, because that figure, the 1.0 was amazing as well.
Yep, exactly.
Keep voting, guys. Keep voting. I do think DLO is probably going to be the winner here because you're all trying to suck up to him. But hey, that's
Politicking,
okay.
baby. Politicking.
That's okay.
I love in art. Vote for me.
I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. Vote for me. We should have. That's what we should have had a little speech on why you should vote for me. That would have been fun too.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
What surprises me, what actually surprised me is I had 4 Marvel figures on my list because Marvel's, the third on the list for me to collect. Not that I don't like it, but it's just not the top priority. So I thought that was interesting. And then 7 through 10 as well. I thought I'd have more Star Wars, but it was tough. Like you said, it's just, they all kind of get lost in, like C-3PO, honestly, is a really great figure. Die-cast, if you compare that to the Sideshow version, it is night and day better. And it's the first one Hot Toys gave. Like, I felt guilty not having that on the list. And I did consider putting that at 10 just to get him up there, but couldn't do it. But what do you think about C-3PO? Is that because that one also came out early in the year?
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought, truth be told, like, my list was very different upon the announcements of Paul Atreides and Joker 4-pack releasing. Like, those two were nowhere near my list, obviously, when we started this whole process. So, I mean, it knocked off a couple figures and it brought down a couple figures on my list that weren't going to be. Bane was going to be higher. I was going to have Bane possibly at 2, along with Joker, but that 4-pack came out. I was like, man, like, I got to put it on this list here because it is really good. So I can't sit here and exclude it, even if it just popped in. But yeah, I mean, I had She-Hulk on my list. Deadpool was a consideration for me here. I mean, this list was very different when I first started it.
Yeah. Hammer of God says these last minute releases by InArt with Joker 4-pack and Paul Atreides made the list harder to compile. I agree. And like I said, it's really tough too when you haven't seen the figures in hand or in person. So we're just trying to go off of kind of what we're seeing and what our heart tells us to do. Can I change my vote? DLO's ridiculous shill and must be getting paid by
all sales final. Go away.
Go away. Keaton is GOAT and that base is fire. Yeah,
great base. Keaton is GOAT.
The figure is not the GOAT, unfortunately. You each have 4 specific figures that belong in my collection, but Brick has Keaton. So, yeah, where's InArt Superman in these lists? I think I'm the only one that picked him up. You're not getting him, are you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I get tempted every now and then because I'm seeing all this Superman love, and I'm like, I'm missing out. But I mean, it didn't wow me. And a part of me is just like that BVS 2.0 Batman is the back of my head. And like it feels like it's gonna drop. Like it feels like they're gonna drop another one. And at that point, they're probably gonna drop another Wonder Woman. So I'm thinking like I might as well just keep everything together and just be patient. But yeah, people seem to be very happy with it in hand. I like that angry sculpt a lot. I think that thing looks wonderful. But the regular expression, just I don't know. And again, I'm not going to assume too much because I've learned my lesson. Inner looks soft in photos and looks better in person. But yeah, the relaxed sculpt doesn't do it for me as much as the angry sculpt. So I was like, yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think if I didn't have the issues I did with the cape, like my cape, the one, and other people have had this problem too. The cape on one of the pegs does not release. It is like stuck solid, and I'm not ripping the cape off of there and then having more problems. So you could see me fighting a little bit with it on camera, I think, or maybe I didn't film that part. I don't know. Maybe I cut it out, but I did. And it was a real nightmare getting the hands to go on the wrist pegs too, like because of the way that the material is, and then the body itself is slippery. So like you just feel like you're gonna pull the suit, mess up the suit, rip the suit. And then there was something else too that I had a problem with that I don't quite remember, but I had a few functionality issues. That is what held that off the list. If I'm just looking at the figures for how they look, that would be definitely on my top 10 because that Superman does look really good.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. I think that's kind of what I'm learning with InArts, not to be overly reactive to photos or what they put out. Like even videos. Like one thing I will say that I'm learning very quickly with InArt is that their paint process is so different from Hot Toys in that regard, because their process, they're so much lighter figures than how Hot Toys does theirs. That like photography wise, unless you're doing some really good Photoshop and editing there to balance out lights, like a lot of the detail gets washed out on these like cell phone camera photos that we take like of our figures. Like with a Hot Toy, you can pretty much get a good gist of like what it's going to look like on one of those photos. But if you're using it on your cell phone and you're not playing around with the settings, sometimes a lot of those features get washed out. Like the Aragon, for example, I was expecting to hate that thing. I said, maybe let me just open it up and take a look at it. If I don't like it, I'm just going to get rid of this thing. But as soon as I opened it up, I was like, why does it look so much better than every photo I've ever seen this figure? And that's what really got the wheel spinning for me here. I got the Batman in hand. I got two of them in hand right now, and I'm comparing them right now, and even those are different. And that's something I'm gonna bring up. I actually should probably bring this up now when everybody's like kind of semi-voting. I hope people are still voting, not just waiting for us to finish the poll. But
poll soon.
So there is a mass difference, guys, that I'm learning with InArt, specifically the Batman. Like depending on what batch you are, your figure might be very different. Might vary different from each other, because I have one from an earlier batch and one from a later batch, and I'm reviewing them now. And I had to throw out my original video because I found way more information about these figures that I don't think anybody has been talking about or even knows. But there's definitely some variation depending on what batch you get. So that video should be dropping hopefully this weekend. I'm sorry I've been pushing it back, but I've been taking some serious notes on these things here, and yeah, it's definitely something to talk about there. But yeah, overall though, these figures from InArt, they're definitely getting better. But for sure, it's it's definitely not easy to decide about these InArt figures just through photos alone. So you got to see some videos and some other stuff. It's just tougher. It's tougher to pinpoint for me.
Yeah. When's that video coming out?
Hoping to get it pushed out this weekend. So I got a couple more things I want to shoot, because it's a lot of comparisons here. Like just having them standing side by side, massive difference between the two of them there. And I don't want to kind of blow it all right now. I'll let you guys see in the video and tell me what you find on that there. But yeah, I know like some people say stuff like Jazz Inc., for example, like that weight, depending on the batch you get. I think kind of InArt, at least on the early part over here, is probably going through some of those growing pains as well too. So I'll show you guys this weekend. So stay tuned for that. I owe you guys that video.
Yeah, Hammer God definitely wants to know which one is the better batch. So He said he'll get his answer when you get the video out. So
Coming soon, buddy.
Looking
I
forward
got
to
you.
that.
I got you.
And then we got How You Figure joining us tonight. I'm blown away that he has joined us on Wolfpack Wednesday. You're the real one, my friend. He did a New Year's Eve show last night, actually going into New Year's, and it was really good. I caught the replay of it today. So, and then he does Casual Fridays on Fridays. So go check his show out. He's a fun-loving guy, very entertaining. So, thank you for being here, Justin. Appreciate you, man. Happy New Year. All right, you ready to end this poll?
I know you are. After seeing the results over here.
I don't see the results until I.
Oh, you don't see the results? Oh, really? Oh.
Let's see.
Give it a few more seconds. Maybe people might want to vote.
Oh, then I better end this poll. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. All right, we had 40 votes, which we have 72 in the House now. We had 75 for a little bit, so it's a little disappointing. I'm gonna say it's a little disappointing. I only get 40 votes, but yours truly had 40%. DLO with a close 37%, and Brick coming in the rear with 22% of the vote. Brick just likes to have the hot takes, push the envelope a little bit, and maybe here that just hurt him a little bit. Maybe not having Bane on the list at all was just too much for the chat to handle tonight. So appreciate you guys voting. It's a lot of fun. And of course, maybe we'll check in on this in like 6 months and maybe even less, and see how this list has maybe changed with some of the figures that we finally get in hand. All right, we are getting to that point where it's time to say goodnight. So, DLO, you've kind of already given us your new video that's coming out, but is there anything else that's going on in your neck of the woods that you just want to discuss before we kind of head out?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Shout out to you, dude, for holding things down as you always do here. We are a few guys short, so hopefully everybody comes back next week ready to go. But yeah, as far as for myself here, like, yeah, I had to completely scrap my in-art Batman review because I got a second copy in hand, and some massive differences in my opinions on my first video compared to this new one over here. So I'll share that with you guys hopefully this weekend. I also got a couple more videos that are in the backlog that I'm going to push out as well too. I have my top 10 pickups for 2024 video coming out as well too. And I'm also going to be starting a new series. Just basically, I'm going to start doing stuff about what can in-art and what can Hot Toys do better in 2025. So I got a couple of themed videos out there that I'm going to be pushing out soon. So I appreciate you guys very, very much for tuning in with us today. And if you have a chance, definitely take a look at my channel if you haven't already. I just put out a collection tour that's doing pretty well. Thanks to everybody who's watched that so far and commented. But yeah, big things going on for 2025. I'm going to be more active with my content. I actually sat down to kind of map out what I want to push out this year. And yeah, I hope you guys stay tuned and watch what I got coming on my channel.
Awesome. And Brandon says, thanks, Tilo, for jumping in my TikTok live the other day as well. I think that meant a lot to him.
Buddy.
I mean, we're community, right? So if we can help you guys out, or if we're we want to hang out with you guys too. So that's why I push the Discord as well. So Casablanco has been nice enough to be the moderator for this show, and he's done an awesome job doing that. So he's put the link for the Discord. Would love to chat with you guys. If you want to talk to us in the Discord, hit that link and you're in. So don't have to be a member, don't have to do any special stuff. Just be friendly and follow the rules, and you're more than welcome. So, and then also obviously find Brick Artemis on YouTube as well, and Figures in Fandom, aka Evil Sneaker. He is again, we just pray that he continues to heal up and come back stronger than ever. So hopefully we'll see him next week, and we'll kind of go from there. As it goes for my channel, been kind of busy as well. Did a collection update, not necessarily a tour, but an update of where the collection is at. Kind of like doing those periodically as well, because I always like seeing your guys' collection. So if I can give you a little bit of a window into mine, periodically, I like to do that. So just kind of showed you what changed, what I've been working on since the collection tour. And then Bane has been recent, did that review, did 2099 this past week as well. And then I'm also going to be doing either my top 10 pickups for 2024 or the top 10 releases that I bought in 2024. I'm not sure because I don't know if I want to do releases, DLO, because I think my 1 through 6 is going to be the same as what this list is here today.
Right.
So I might just do pickups as well. It doesn't have to be released in 2024, but just something that I bought in 2024. And then Chopper, Joker are on the way soon. So those reviews will be coming out too. So don't forget to be on the lookout for that. But we made it, man. This was a fun show, DLO. It's nice it's nice to just have, DLO to myself sometimes too. So
had I known it was going to be a date, I would have dressed up for the occasion.
All right. Oh boy. Well, DLO, I hope you have a good rest of the night. I hope you all out there have a good rest of the night. Have a very happy new year. I hope all of your resolutions come true. Hope you work hard to achieve them. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show and for supporting all of our channels. And until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. Wolfpack out, and Too Sweet.
Too sweet, guys. Have a good night.
Happy New Year.